Hello, everyone. Welcome back to GDQ Hotfix. This is It's Dangerous to Go Alone, which is a celebration of cooperative speedruns. Happens every other Sunday at, around 4 p.m. Eastern. We're a bit early today because we have a longer run of Pokemon coming up soon. But before we jump into that, just want to say that GDQ 2023 Online will be January 8th to the 15th. Game submissions and volunteer applications are now open. So head to gamesdonequick.com for more information if you want to be submitting any runs or apply for volunteering, both of which are fantastic to do. Fright Fatales is a one-day spooky event on October 23rd to celebrate spooky season with dark, scary, or horror-themed speedruns from the Fright Fatales community. Use !Fright in Twitch chat to learn more about this one-off event. But yeah, I'm a big Pokemon enjoyer. I love Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and I know these two runners here also love this game, are excited to get with it. So we have Etiquette and Crazy Cat here. How are you two doing? You excited?
Yeah, definitely excited.
Very.
Thank you both for being here. I love Let's Go speedruns, and it's great that you can do this game one player with both controllers, or actually the true co-op that we're gonna see here.
Yeah, it's a really cool run. Hopefully, get people interested in the game. It's you'll see how it goes.
Sweet. I mean, I'm ready to get going whenever y'all are. So if you want to count us down in, we can get going.
All right, so I'm gonna set my time real quick, and then we're gonna jump into the game, and then time will start when we hit begin game. So, but yeah, I'm Etiquette. This is my wife, Crazy Cat.
Hi.
I am primarily a Pokemon speedrunner. She does not speedrun much, but she is kind enough to assist me with this run. This is a really cool run. It's a fun co-op run, but it does require you to be physically together. So it's more of a couch co-op than your traditional co-op run that you might see, where people can connect online. But this run's really cool. So, all right. So, we should begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. And we are playing the Eevee version.
We are.
What are some of the changes or differences between the two of them is a common question I usually get about these kind of speed runs.
Yeah, so the starter Pokemon that we get is going to be Eevee, obviously, in Let's Go Eevee, and in Let's Go Pikachu, you get Pikachu. In Eevee, we basically use the Eevee for the entire first half of the game. It comes really well equipped with some very good moves, and it just can really handle it, handle itself really well. Pikachu, on the other hand, doesn't get nearly as many good moves as the Eevee does, and so it struggles on its own. But it really can make use of the two controller aspect of the game, which we will see pretty soon. And so it kind of balances out. Right now, the two runs, Pikachu is about a minute faster than the Eevee version, but they're both very competitive times. And the leaderboards are split, so if you are interested in these games and don't have the Pikachu version, you can still run Eevee and still compare against other Eevee runners.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I really like that the boards are split like that, so it's just whatever version you have, you can have a viable run with, so that's great.
Exactly. All right. So this is true co-op. True co-op means that, I guess to sort of preface that, this game has a support trainer feature where basically at any point, I'm playing with a single Joy-Con. I use the Joy-Con grip. But you have to play with a Joy-Con. You can't play with a normal controller. At any point in the game, you can summon a second player with the other Joy-Con. And so the main speed run, you run by yourself. It's a one-player run, but you can use both players. Basically, once you have a second player out, you can have a second person helping you catch Pokemon, which has its own benefits, and you can have a second player actually in battle with you. And you basically turn battles from one-on-one battles to two-on-one battles, which is as busted as it sounds, but is rather slow. So in the main speedrun, we do it very sparingly. True co-op is a category extension where you have to have an actual second person controlling the second player. And the difference between co-op and true co-op is true co-op, the second player must always be out. it's not just enough that she is controlling the second player.
Yeah.
She has to always be active. Now you notice I'm by myself right now.
Yes.
That's because one of the things that is a requirement to have the second player out is the second player needs a Pokemon to control. If I only have one Pokemon in my party, which is true right now because I have an Eevee, she can't be there. So we're gonna have to catch a Pokemon immediately and allow her to start playing.
Yep.
Nice.
Are you?
I do, yes. Oh, that wasn't on. It wasn't on a second ago.
I do have a question for you, Jess. We have some questions from the audience. What is your favorite Pokemon speedrun?
Do I really answer that?
Well, the only one you've done is this.
I was gonna say, I feel like I have to say this one.
Do you watch any other Pokemon speedruns? I mean, I know, of course, Etiquette does a lot of different runs. Is there one that you enjoy watching the most?
Ooh. Oh my god, I don't even know the answer to that. I feel like I like this one because I get to be involved.
I really do love this run. I think it's a really great beginner speed run. Like, I'm not a hardcore Pokemon speeder. You don't have to do any manips. You don't have to do a lot of the complicated stuff that comes with a lot of earlier Pokemon runs. And I think the catch routing is like one of the most interesting parts of this speedrun compared to some other stuff. It's more on the fly than a lot of other Pokemon speedruns, so I really like it.
Yeah, I do really like catching Pokemon in general.
Yeah.
I have to say. I don't know why, but it's just fun.
It is. It is fun.
And I always want to get an excellent, it's like...
The throw system in this game I found really fun, especially when playing with my husband as well. It's great. And like we both loved Pokemon Go, so it was just like, this is great. I just want to keep catching all these Pokemon. Way more engaging than trying to catch all the other Pokemon in normal Pokemon games for me.
Yeah.
All right, so we now have our Eevee, but again, don't have a second Pokemon yet, so
still useless.
I'm basically gonna catch the first thing I see. It doesn't have to be the exact first thing I see. I just have to catch something before the first battle, which is gonna be after we come back to Pallet Town. So ideally, I get a Rattata here. Could get a Pidgey, but Rattata's just a little bit better. And then this will be not the only catch I do by myself, but close to the only catch.
Can I ask why Rattata is better than Pidgey? Because I actually don't know the answer to that question.
Yes. So Rattata is a little bit better than Pidgey, just because I want to catch Pidgey later, when it's a little bit higher level, because it's actually going to assist in a couple battles.
Okay.
So there is Rattata, and so now that I have a second Pokemon in my party, she has to come out of hiding.
Yes.
So if you want to go ahead and do that.
So if I shake, I appear.
Yeah, and if she shakes again...
I was trying to keep up.
Well...
Oh, there I am. Okay.
Yeah, so if she shakes again, she'll disappear, so we want to try to avoid that. If it happens by accident, it's not the end of the world. Again, this is a more for fun category, so if things are slightly off, it's fine.
My plan is to stay as close to him as possible. Doesn't always work that way. But that's my plan.
Yeah, if you stray too far away, I will like pause while she respawns like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's the funniest part is just seeing the support trainer like warp from the sky anytime you get too far away. It's very funny.
Oh, I actually forgot to do something. You're gonna be Rattata here.
Okay.
So one of the things that we actually never did until we were doing practice last night is so because we have like two, we're both controlling a Pokemon. One of us is controlling sort of like the main Pokemon, which in this case is going to be Eevee, and the other one's sort of controlling the support Pokemon. And traditionally, the way that we've done it is me as first player, I'm going to be controlling the main Pokemon, the main damage dealing Pokemon, and she's going to be doing a lot of the support. We're going to be using X items and things like that. We actually flipped our roles last night, and it seemed to work really well. Yeah. Yeah, so you're going to tackle here.
Yeah. Forgot I was...
we flipped our roles because it is. It's a lot simpler. Well, okay. I'm trying to explain it in a good way. So it's a lot simpler because there's a lot of menuing that has to happen, and like the menuing just requires a bit of execution. And I have a lot of experience with the game.
Yes.
Obviously Jess is not. Crazy Cat's not a traditional speedrunner of the game, so
not in the slightest. So I have to go over to the bag, and then I have to remember the move, and then I have to remember what to use when we get back to battle. So it's a lot for me to have to move around, and if you're trying to go fast.
Absolutely. I mean, menuing is hard regardless. I'm not an RPG speedrunner, so anytime I have to menu in any video game, it is a mess. It is my biggest time loss problem, so I totally understand.
Yeah. And I'm second guessing myself, so I know I have to go to the bag, and I know it's 2 over, but I'm still thinking like, okay, bag, and then okay, move, whereas it's muscle memory to him, so he can just do it.
100%. I think that's so valid. Menuing is so hard.
It is. So we switched it around last night. It seems to work better.
That's smart.
For the most part, but for now, I'm off the screen again.
I was gonna say, I think we're about to see why. No. Okay, cool.
See, I'm trying to stay as close to him as possible and not get despawned, so the game doesn't pause when I get respawned. So I'm doing my best to try to do that, but sometimes he's just off. And then there are times when I just won't be there at all. Like at one point, he surfs, so I just won't be there, and it'll spawn me back in. There's another time that I've now completely forgotten about while I'm not paying attention.
It's all good.
We're getting into some good conversations, and then it's like, wait,
talking and playing
video game.
I don't know how he does it.
Talking and playing that's what my parents say all the time when they watch my stream. They're like, how do you talk and read people in chat and play the video game at the same time? And I'm like, it's just practice. I used to be terrible at it.
And then he'll send me a text while he's like, and I'm like, I don't like.
Okay, I don't have that luxury when I'm playing Celeste. I can't send a text message in the middle of the resort.
I'm like, but how? It's incredible to me, which I think is why it's so interesting to me. Like I play like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley. Those are my types of games. And I never knew about Pokemon really until we met, and and just seeing everything, it's so cool. And then I went to HDQ and SGDQ, and it's just amazing. But you just see for me, I see how much, as I run into a plant, how much talent there is. How much talent goes into this.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it,
Absolutely. During one of my FF runs, I sent it to my grandma, and of me playing a different game, not Celeste, but she's like, how many times have you played that game? 5 times? And I'm like,
oh my God.
A little bit more than that, Grandma, but thank you. It's very sweet.
Grandmas are always adorable.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And one of the other kind of interesting things about her as the support trainer is she can't really interact with anything.
I was just gonna say that.
Well, then you take it away.
Okay. I was gonna wait until. So if when he runs by someone, it could start a battle or catch a wild poke. But for me, I can just run by anyone.
We're gonna catch this.
Or I don't interact with anything. And if I remember correctly, I think Edda said that at some point he's going to have me walk by someone on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, some of the maps aren't going to even be big enough for us to get far enough away from each other where we're going to despawn.
Yeah.
But some of them, like Viridian Forest is a great example. We are able to get far enough away from each other. And so because it's easy to fall behind. It's easy to have to start doing movement off screen because if you fall far enough behind, what we're gonna do is up here. She's actually gonna go left. She can go left.
Oh, I thought you meant.
She's gonna go left there.
I'm a really good listener.
Because there was a trainer there, so I had to go around, but she didn't have to. She can't trigger the trainer battle, so we just didn't have to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and deposit our Rattata. And we'll do this battle. But we're going to do those little tricks in a few places. There are puzzles later on where, if anyone's familiar with this game or Kanto in general, in the Rocket Hideout, there are these spinners on the floor, and if you have to do this whole puzzle because you know, there's like spinners that will make you go like up, down, left, right, and you have to like try and figure out how to get through the room. She can just walk to the other side. The spinners don't interact with her.
I love it. I just go straight.
That's fantastic. It's just like, nah, I don't need to do your puzzle.
Awesome.
It's really funny to watch.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go all the way around. This is gonna be our first main catching section of the game. So, haven't really explained much about the game itself, and how the route progresses. So there are a bunch of gym requirements in this game. One of the gym requirements is to have 50 Pokemon caught. So there is a large amount of the run dedicated to catching Pokemon. Catching Pokemon with 2 players gives us more experience, and it makes the Pokemon more likely to be caught. But obviously it requires a bit of teamwork on our part. So 3, 2, 1, throw. Perfect. We are aiming for excellence on pretty much everything. There are going to be some cases where we're fine getting a great or a nice or missing the circle at all. Usually it's in those places where experience doesn't matter. Experience matters quite a bit in the early game, so we're really trying to make sure that we do our best to get the best throws that we can. So that throw was really good. Caterpie and Weedle are both really nice catches just because they evolve super quickly, and it's basically 6 free Pokemon. I am going to go ahead. I swear there was a glowing... all right, I'm just going to pause this. Sorry, I talked to myself.
No, I do the same thing. I get it.
He does it in life.
We're not
all the time. I hear someone talking through the room, I'm like, what? It's him talking. Just talk.
That's sweet.
All right, let's grab this Bellsprout.
So cute.
My husband will talk to the cat, and I'll be like, you need me?
Oh.
He's like, I'm just talking to the cat. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's us.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
I talk to the cat all the time.
What's your cat's name?
Callie the Calico.
Aw, cute.
She's so cute. I was hoping we have a little
I
cat
know, I
over
would
there.
love
was
to
hoping-
see. I always love
She might pop
when
in.
people's animals make appearances on stream. It's the best.
I think she will. She'll pop in at some point. She'll want food around like 5. She'll pop in. Very food motivated.
All right, so we're going to teach double kick. Yeah, so one of the big experience thresholds we want to hit in the early game is we want to hit level 10 before Brock. And the main reason for that is level 10 is when we learn double kick. Double kick is our way through Brock. Because we are doing true co-op, we both have to be out. And so we're actually going to use the Bellsprout kind of as our second main Pokemon for almost the entire first hour of the run. It's a Pokemon, it doesn't evolve until level 21, so it's a lot of level ups before we get the second Pokemon out of it. But it just has a solid moveset, decent typing for the early game, so that's just going to be our plan. I'm going to actually swap this to slot 1 now while I'm thinking of it. And then we want to catch a Weedle. We're not... Oops, we put you there. We're going to catch a Weedle, but not that one.
Why not that one?
We will catch this one, though.
Okay.
So we didn't catch that one because it spawned before the lure.
Ah.
And when you lure, every Pokemon that spawns after the lure is used will be highest level possible. So 3, 2, 1, go. It'll be the highest level possible for the area. That one spawned early, so it wasn't going to be the right level, basically. This one also happens to be glowing. Glowing Pokemon will give you more experience. It's usually a 1.5 times multiplier, like it was there. It can be a 4 times. Okay. It's a random chance. It's like 10%. All right.
Yeah, that's why I think the route, the catch routing in this is so interesting, because you have to be adaptable to what's going on every single time, which is really fun.
Yeah. Every single run is a little bit different than the last one.
I was actually thinking about that yesterday, because I think sometimes, doesn't he get sick of doing the same? Because to me, I thought it was the same thing. But then us practicing, I'm like, oh no, it's a little different every time, so I can see how that would keep your interest.
Yeah. Nice. So one thing we would normally do is we would check our stats, our nature at the start of the run, and some Eevees are going to not be runnable and some of them are. This Eevee is technically not runnable, but we'll get by. It's got minus speed. Minus speed isn't too bad. basically Pokemon have 6 stats, 5 of them that are relevant for what I'm talking about. And they can have a very nature. And the natures can boost 1 stat by 10% and hinder 1 stat by 10%. And so we actually have plus special attack. So our special attack is going to be 10% higher, which is actually really good. But we also have 10% worse speed. And speed's important because it dictates the order that you basically act in battle. So you're going to be going after a few things later on. Some of them are more dangerous than others, but we'll get by. Not too bad. Now we're going to do our first gym.
I just ran.
So this is okay, so first gym of the game. Traditional Pokemon game, 8 gyms. Every gym has a requirement to enter it. The requirement to enter this gym is to have a grass or water type Pokemon. Fun little fact, there are no water Pokemon available before this point in the game. So it is
just said grass, I guess. Well, I mean,
you could trade one in, but
that's so strange.
it's kind of ridiculous.
It's like they tried. It's like they held that over from when you could have had Squirtle and then forgot you can't pick Squirtle.
Sorry.
Hi, Brock.
Yeah, so this is Brock. The way we're going to do this fight is... so normally this fight is done with just one controller, and it is done with Eevee by itself. And Eevee does double kick, gets rid of the Geodude, and then has to tail whip, and then double kick the Onix. Tail whip lowering the Onix's defense. We are going to use the Eevee to do the exact same thing to the Geodude, but this entire time our Bellsprout is using Growth, which will boost its attack. And so instead of having to do like a 3-turn against the Onix, we're actually going to be able to beat the Onix in 1 turn with our super effective Vine Whip and the super effective Double Kick. There is one thing that can go wrong, and it did not go wrong. Cool.
Nice.
The Onix has Headbutt. Headbutt's actually the TM that we're going to be getting from Brock, which is a very, very good move at this point in the game, especially for our Eevee. Headbutt can flinch us, so there's a potential that like one of us just doesn't get to move, and so we just gotta deal with that. That is the first gym down.
Very nice.
And we're gonna do our first shop of the game. So in this shop, we're gonna buy a few things. Great balls are the most important thing. Obviously, there's a ton of catching in the game, and Pokeballs just aren't going to cut it for the majority of the run. So we're going to buy some Great Balls. We're actually going to be given some right here, but we're going to buy some more. Buy our typical healing items. We start the game with 5 potions, but we need healing items for things like antidotes for poison, paralyzed heals, stuff like that. And we're also going to buy our first X items of the game. So X items are items that you can use in battle to boost your stats. So I can buy an X attack, it'll boost my attack by 2 stages. One of the things that really makes this a fun run in general, but like sort of makes true co-op a really interesting run as well, is X items can be used by your partner. So I'm going to be playing mostly the support role this run. I will be able to use an X attack on my turn and use it on the Eevee, and then she'll attack the same turn. Yeah. And so it's really kind of almost makes this run like a little bit busted.
Yeah, because you kind of have a cleric that's like, okay, let me give you all the buffs, and then the one person just hitting the headbutt with all the buffs. Exactly. That's fantastic.
And it's gonna come into play. We only bought 2 X items here. Money is honestly the problem. Reason why we don't buy more. We're gonna be using probably close to 50 X items in this run. Yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
All right, so make our way through here.
I'm pretty sure I lost myself.
Probably get despawned. There.
Yes, yeah.
All right,
guys.
No, that's fine. It happens.
I ran into a
It's
curb.
not too bad. It's really easy to get caught on something, and then you're off screen, and then you just have no hope.
Right, you can't see where you are, and it's just
I end up running into a curb or something.
All right. What was that? All
I
right.
didn't even see it.
Only thing we want to catch there is Ekans. It's just a simple 1 Pokemon bonus. It's not the end of the world to not get. And that's actually something you'll hear me talking about a lot is with the catch routing. Some Pokemon are going to be bonuses, and some of them are going to be backups. I always have 50 Pokemon I'm planning to get on any given run. But no run ever follows the catch route exactly. So there are some Pokemon, if I see it, I'm going to catch it because it's like a good bonus to have. Abra is a great example. Abra is not very common, but if we see it, we absolutely want to get it because it's a free 2 Pokemon. Some Pokemon are going to be backups. So something like Magmar, we might catch in Pokemon Mansion way later because we'll be at the end of our catch routing and maybe we're a little bit short of our 50 Pokemon. So part of this run is constantly balancing, what am I catching? What am I still planning on getting? All that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Magikarp. We buy the Magikarp. It is actually the fastest Pokemon to get.
Makes
Takes about
sense.
30 seconds.
Just gets given to you. It's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, it takes about 30 seconds to catch or evolve a Pokemon, and that takes like 25 or something. Use our lure, and then battle time.
Yeah, it's neat how you have to be like, oh, I'm going to evolve this one later. So when you're evolving them later, what's typically the strategy you do for that? Is it just like you go fight with them in your party? Well, what do you typically do to make those evolve later on?
Yeah, so a lot of times we wait to catch something. Like a good example is that last route has Spearow on it. But we're not going to catch a Spearow even if we see it. Because later on we could catch it and it would be 1 level away from evolving. And every Pokemon that is in our party gains experience for every battle and every catch. So things that aren't like our main Pokemon, we're just going to give passive experience to help them evolve. It does waste time if we let something level up that doesn't need it, which is why I deposited like the Rattata earlier, as well as the Pikachu. We're not going to evolve into Raticate, and Pikachu doesn't evolve via levels, so there's no point in giving them extras. Alright. This is going to be sort of our next big catching section. We really want to hit level 15 before we leave Mount Moon. There are a few more fights, but the majority of our experience is going to be catching, so...
And that's why it's really important to get those like excellence and stuff like that, because it can give them more experience. There's a lot that goes into the experience routing in this. It's very interesting.
Alright, this is perfect. So Clefairy is great for experience. I'm going to switch to Great Balls, so don't hit A immediately. Alright. And then... So I messed up. 3, 2, 1, throw. Alright, good.
Nice, yeah, because Clefairy gets a lot of experience, so...
Yeah, this will be like 300 something. Which is really good. And that is a couple of evolutions, which is really nice. One thing we do want to be careful of, it's a really small thing, but every Let's Go runner learns this at some point because they do it by accident. I'm about to have a level 10 Butterfree. We really do not want Butterfree to hit level 13. If Butterfree hits level 13, it tries to learn not 1, not 2, but 3 moves.
No!
So you have to say no to each one. And everyone is like 5 seconds. And
that is so tragic. So the second it evolves, it's like, get out of here.
Yeah. I'll probably like play it by ear a little bit. The other 2 Pokemon that we really want to catch here are Paris and Geodude. And one of those 2, like depending on which one shows up first, I may be able to like hold off on depositing, because in general it's better to do more things in one menu at a time. And so I really only have to deposit 2 Pokemon here. So it's not the most worth it to use the menu now, but whatever. I'll just do it.
Yeah, it's one of those
not.
things where it's like,
Exactly.
If you're thinking about it now, it's worth it.
Alright, so... Get rid of this. Get rid of Clefairy. Oh, there's the Paris. That's really nice.
This little room is just so good for catches.
3, 2, 1. Good. Yeah, this room is great. In general, caves are really nice. Any area that has like a big open space is really good for getting things to spawn. One of the areas that you oftentimes need a Pokemon to spawn, but doesn't always spawn, is in Pokemon Tower. Pokemon Tower, you can get Ghastly, but all of the corridors in Pokemon Tower are really narrow. And so, I don't know if there's any actual science behind it, but it feels like Pokemon are way less common to spawn in like tighter spaces. So this room is just wide open, there's nothing in it. So everything spawns.
Yeah, I was curious, like, you don't have to leave the room for things to spawn, right? It's just a certain amount of time you might see something.
Yep. Exactly. And every area has a certain amount of things that can show up. I don't know what the number is here. It's probably like 8 Pokemon. So whenever I hit 8 Pokemon, if what I'm looking for hasn't shown up, then I would have to despawn something somehow, whether that be by running into it or by
catching something,
like leaving,
defeating something.
Yeah, exactly.
All
right, so that should be it for catches. There's one other Pokemon that could be worth catching, but we'll cross that road when we get there. But our Eevee is level 14 and a half, which means with the remaining battles here in Mount Moon, we should hit level 15. And then the only other thing worth mentioning, so when I started the run, we set our time. We're not catching this. When we started the run, I set my time, and that was to make it hit midnight while we were in this room. The Moonstone that I picked up here can respawn at midnight. It did not. So we're just gonna leave.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah. It's like a 50% chance to respawn.
That's very cool. And if you get an extra Moonstone, that just means one more free evolution, right?
Exactly. So now we are on to the next battle. Funny enough, the thing I said that we might want to catch did actually spawn in that last room. But we're not going to catch it.
Sometimes you just gotta go with the vibe. I mean,
yeah, Chansey can spawn almost everywhere in the game, and it is a very big experience boost when it happens. But it is difficult to catch, so I'm just not going to bother. All right.
would you say the majority of the top level runs have Chansey or don't have Chansey?
Majority probably don't have it just because it's uncommon enough. So it can spawn everywhere. It's basically like a 0.5% chance to spawn.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so majority of runs don't have it. Runs that get it and actually get it quickly, because it is difficult to catch, so you could waste time trying to get it. Runs that get it and get it quickly tend to be really good pace runs. It's just there are a lot of things that are like almost like that we would almost kill, like that Sandshrew that we just fought. The Eevee didn't finish it off on its own. We needed the Bellsprout to help out. Those kinds of like small damage, small bits of damage that we're missing sort of get replaced because now we're like 3 levels higher.
Makes sense.
All right. So a couple more fights here. Mount Moon is annoying because even though we are done with our catches, things will still spawn. We don't have... Repels do work in this game. You don't have anything spawn when you're using a repel. But in general, like, you can just avoid them, so we don't buy too many repels in the run. But things can spawn directly in front of you, and you just don't have a good opportunity to dodge it. So.
Yeah, you just get a Rattata jump scare, and you're like, okay, guess I can't do anything.
Yeah, that kind of happened earlier. It just got a random Zubat.
Yep.
The moon catches went really well. So far, all of our catches have gone pretty well so far.
A lot of excellence. Yeah. Very nice. The counting system, it works. The countdowns.
Yeah.
It is. It's really difficult for me to do the countdown because I've been running this game since it came out.
Sure.
And so I like have such a muscle memory for like, all right, now's the time to throw. And now having to think like 3 seconds before it to do a countdown, it's so weird.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I gotta plan this ahead, and then, but it's been working. It's been working really well.
Yeah, usually does.
All right. This is another one. If we have a little bit more experience, the Eevee finishes it off.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hit 15 here? Yes, perfect.
So now we're good on that the second gym requirement.
Yep, exactly.
I kind of liked the gym requirements in this game. I thought they were nice. They definitely make the speed run, but casually I thought they were like kind of nice benchmarks.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so one more battle here. And this battle is interesting. So up until now, every battle we've done has been a single battle that we have kind of turned into a double battle by having a second player. This here is an actual double battle. The game wants you to do a double battle. So naturally, I get to do it by myself.
Classic.
Yeah, these battles, because they are actual double battles, the first player, in this case me, controls everything on the field. So it's the same Pokemon. Like, I'm still gonna have a Bellsprout and an Eevee, but she's just no longer controlling the second Pokemon.
It's a very funny distinction for a game that was clearly made for co-op. It's kind of silly.
Yeah, there's only a handful of these, but it is kind of funny when it happens. It actually, it's funny when it happens, but it's also really, what's the right word? Annoying in the single player run if you're not used to it, because there's a section later on where we have one of these battles in the midst of a bunch of other 2-controller battles. And so you're so used to using both controllers for that section of the game, and then you have to switch back, even though it's a double battle, to using only one of them.
Yeah, it's like very
now you're
strange.
Yeah.
And now we are out of Mount Moon. All right, so now that we're out of Mount Moon, we're kind of going to take a break from catching, unless I see specifically an Ekans, or unless we see specifically an Ekans here in the grass. We're not going to be catching anything for a little while. And it's going to primarily be catching, or battles. We're going to go back down so you can just sort of stay there. Well, not stay. That is purple, but not an Ekans. All right, that's fine. And now that we're here in Cerulean City, so we wanted to hit level 15 because that is Misty's gym requirement. Now, if you've played a Kanto game, Gen 1, Fire Red Leaf Green, or this game, you know that you actually kind of have a choice here. You can either go up Nugget Bridge, or you can either go up Nugget Bridge first, or you can go fight Misty first. And this game allows you to do the same thing. It is faster to do Misty first, but Misty does have that requirement to be level 15. So if you're not level 15, you kind of have to go up to Bill first, up through Nugget Bridge first. But it's slower for movement, and for the battles are mostly the same. Doing the first rival fight at a lower level is a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's nice there's so many good backups in this run too, of like, oh, I'm not here, let me just do this instead, and it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where I love just walking straight.
Yeah, you can just walk straight through this gym, but I have to walk all the way around. All right, so we are here. Another thing that we did here in Cerulean is we taught Eevee some pretty broken moves. So we have Buzzy Buzz and we have Bouncy Bubble. The single player run, we actually will teach Sizzly Slide there as well. But yeah, basically Buzzy Buzz is a I'm surprised that killed. Very powerful move that always paralyzes the opponent. Bouncy Bubble is a very powerful move that will, it's like Absorb. It'll take half of the damage dealt and give it back to you in health. So it's a really cool move.
Yeah, I like how they like, oh, you can't evolve this Eevee, but we'll give you these really cool type coverage moves so that you don't feel as bad about it, and you get to keep Eevee. So it's nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah, Psyduck is her favorite Pokemon.
I hate killing them though.
Aw, I love Psyduck.
Me too. It's so sad.
It's your Buzzy Buzz.
Oops. It's focused on killing Psyduck. I can't.
Yeah, so that was the first example. I used the next special attack into the Eevee. So she was able to deal damage, but with an X special applied. Using one X special doubles the stat. So we quite literally had, double power because we were using 2 controllers. I almost died, which was a little bit scary. I did not expect to take that much damage. So I'm going to probably heal. Oh, I know what I'll do. Okay. See, this is where being forced to do 2 controller battles is actually kind of interesting because I now have the option. I can either heal, like open my menu and heal right now, or next battle, there's a turn where I'm not doing anything. And so during that one turn, I could just heal instead. All right. So common question I get asked is why don't you pick up the Bulbasaur that's in that house there, or there's a Charmander up here? And basically the answer is we can't because they require having a certain amount of catches. And that is actual catches, not Pokemon caught, which is kind of a weird distinction. Right now we have 14 Pokemon, so we have 14 Pokemon registered in our Pokedex. But we've only caught maybe like 10 Pokemon.
Right, because they've evolved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, so we basically just have to make sure that in order to get like the Bulbasaur, you have to have 30 catches, which really equates itself to like almost 50 Pokemon, which is essentially what we need at the end of the run. So we're not going to be getting that. So headbutt there, perfect. Normally we have Sizzly Slide at this point in single player, so we can use Sizzly Slide. It's a really high power fire move, which is obviously super effective against the Oddish. It's your headbutt. Yeah. We don't teach Sizzly Slide because we want to keep Double Kick for later on. And because we're using 2 controllers, I can sort of help out dealing a little bit more damage when headbutt doesn't kill. Alright. I am probably going to heal again in this battle. Yeah, so all these battles, it is absolutely overkill to have 2 players out, but we, definition of the category, we have to. So she's going to be doing almost all of the heavy lifting here, while I'm just sort of clicking moves. So I am going to heal again. Because I did take a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think it's fun that, like, the definition of this category, you have to have the 2 players, so then you can just take advantage of it and, do the healing that you're talking about, do the X item things. It makes the routing diverge more than, like, in single player, you choose when to have it out, and you, most of the time, don't.
Yeah, exactly.
That was always the
Yeah,
it's also the hardest part for me in the run is like remembering to send out the second player, turn them back in, like difficult to remember.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't wanna.
You have to.
I know, poor Psyduck. They're just taking a nap. It's okay.
Oh my god. Hate it. That's so sad.
All right. Wow, we're both gonna learn a move. Yeah, this is sort of the example of why you don't like to have things that level up unnecessarily. If they level up to certain levels, they will start to learn moves, and having to say no to that does take some time. All right. Yeah, this part's pretty straightforward. One thing that is kind of, and it has not happened on a single run that we've done. Like Crazy Cat said, we've done this about like 3 or 4 times. We've never once actually had this happen. At the top of this route, we could catch a Meowth. Meowth is not super uncommon. It's like 15-20%. But Meowth would specifically allow us to do a really interesting strategy in literally 2 hours. But if we don't have Meowth, then we can't do it.
Huh. That's like very high level. 2 hours from now is gonna drastically change what's going on.
Yeah. Basically, Meowth is one of the only Pokemon in the game that learns the move Feint. And Feint is a move that will, if the opponent uses Protect, it'll break Protect, allowing them to take damage that turn. And Koga's gym is full of Pokemon that like to Protect, which in the single player run just wastes a turn. Every turn wasted in this category is like 2 turns because it takes time to do a double turn. And so all of those Protects waste, 2 turns worth of time every single time. But if we can break Protect and allow the Pokemon to take damage, then we can essentially never lose a turn, which is really cool.
That makes so much sense.
It never actually happened.
It's a pure theoretical at this point, but it sounds good.
Yeah, so we're really hoping to see a Meowth. We got one more fight before then. I just saw a Pokemon, but I didn't see what it was. It looks small, like a Meowth.
I'm getting excited for this. I want to see it. I want to see the strats.
Too. All right. Yeah, so this is it. Actually, you should do this.
We're gonna pick up with a move there.
I like that Nugget Bridge is just as grindy and silly in this as it was in the original.
Yeah.
Good old Nugget Bridge. I do like the background of these fights, though. Quite cute.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Honestly, like, a lot of the art style and backgrounds and stuff in this game are really cool. I think the art style is great. There's a lot of attention to detail. Like, little things that you don't necessarily notice every time, but pretty cool. All right. There's a Meowth! Yes!
Oh my gosh!
There's
we
2
talked
of
it
them.
into existence! Yes!
It's starting to run away from us, but I don't care. All right. It is. Okay, perfect. So 3, 2, 1, throw. Beautiful. So we're gonna leave this in our party a little bit longer. I know I just was talking about how letting something level up unnecessarily is slow, but Meowth doesn't actually learn Feint until level 15, so we need to make sure it gets up there so we can teach it. So we'll leave this around. Now this is a good example of Jess can kind of just go through this area, but I have to go around.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do some weird movement to go between their vision.
Not me.
The only thing that she can actually interact with, so I actually saw somebody mention it in the chat. If she runs into a wild Pokemon, it kind of makes them like pause in place and jump. That can like very situationally be helpful. Usually isn't. But one thing that she can do is if she is standing in front of a trainer, you'll notice I always talk to the trainers when I'm trying to battle them, and that's because you don't get the exclamation point, they don't have to walk to you, all that kind of stuff. If you're standing in front of a trainer, they will still see me, but they won't walk to me. They'll basically walk until you block them. Which we're gonna do at one point on purpose.
Okay.
And almost allows for a trainer skip later on in the run, but not quite.
What is almost?
Almost is because if it worked exactly the way I just said it, it would.
Okay.
But the game accounts for the exact scenario
Oh.
that we're trying to do a trainer skip for, which is unfortunate.
They're on to us. They don't want us to
I know.
succeed.
But yeah, so this is Bill. We are here to get the SS ticket. So in the original games, you can get the SS ticket here, and once you have the SS ticket, you can go through the burglarized house in Cerulean City. But in this game, they actually require you to both get the SS ticket and beat Misty. Misty was required in the originals in order to use the move Cut, but that would be relevant later on. So it's an interesting little change from the original games.
Yeah, because instead of HMs in this, your Eevee learns the ability to do all the moves, right? Basically, that you need.
Yep. And yeah, so the Eevee learns the moves, and then there are no gym badge requirements for it. So as soon as we get the ability to use Cut, we can use it. We don't need a gym badge or anything. So the game kind of requires you to have the second badge. The originals, the second badge was required for Cut. In order to get to the area that gives you Cut, you need the second badge. But the rest of the game is kind of open. And we're actually, after this gym that we just beat maybe 10 minutes ago, we're not going to fight another gym for an hour and a half.
Wow, that's a long time.
It's just not necessary to progress the story at all.
And we got to work on our catches, and then you'll have more experience, and then you can just kind of blaze through all the gym leaders, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We're basically going to catch the Pokemon that's like level 45 and then go fight like Lieutenant Surge, who's supposed to be the next thing we do. It's pretty great. So, all right. We're going to have another good catching section after the underground here. This is where you just go down as much as possible. Don't jump that ledge. Go this way.
Okay. Well,
Sorry. If you go that way, you get trapped in the town.
Go down, but don't go down.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Typically, the next level threshold we're trying to hit is you want to be level 18 for the next fight. We're already level 18, but we'll use any extra experience we can get because this is one of the battles where having bad speed matters. I don't think it's even possible for us to get high enough level so the speed doesn't matter, but we'll do our best. Do you remember the Pokemon where it was like throw immediately?
Yes.
Okay. You remember that action, not
Yeah,
necessarily the
okay,
Pokemon?
yeah.
Alright, that might happen on this route. I will tell you if it does.
Was it coughing?
It was Jigglypuff.
Same thing.
Both the same.
Chat, discuss. Are coughing and Jigglypuff the same thing? I need a
what I meant.
four-paragraph
You know what?
essay.
It's totally what I meant.
I can see it.
I'm not disagreeing. They're both very circular.
That's what, yeah, see?
Yeah.
It's fine. Oh, yeah.
I like that little like spin you just did.
Someone no one noticed.
I love this hallway because there's like 13 million items that are invisible.
I love it.
Yeah, we only pick up one. Oh, actually, we picked this. Completely forgot about that one.
The visible
What was
one.
invisible? Yeah.
There are more, but this game actually has kind of an interesting thing. I think Sword and Shield does something similar, where some of the items on the ground can change. Like, they're not always the same item. And so we picked up a hidden nugget. That is always a nugget. There are 2 other items that can be money items, things that are worth selling, but they're not always the same thing. And so for, consistency purposes, it makes more sense for us to only grab the one that's always the same instead of relying on one of them. So, all right, ready?
We have a lot of agreement from chat that both of them are the same because they're round and full of air. So
Thank you.
I that's 2 reasons. I don't see any reason why they're different. So this is
same.
facts.
So.
I like I said, I can see it. I wouldn't have said it myself, but I can see it.
Oh, I have another one. They both knock you out. One is toxic and one puts you to sleep. So
This is true.
it's just coming more and more
See?
reasons here. Coughing is just a Jigglypuff from above. So true.
More cementy, but
All right, we should have done 3, 2, 1, go. Worked. It's so hard to make those quick decisions when I have to also give notice.
It worked. We're good.
Oh boy.
That's the joy of a co-op run. Is like, oh, I gotta decide something and then tell my co-op partner immediately.
Yeah.
All right, so here we're gonna teach the move Faint. Do it like that. So like I said, we're not gonna even see that for a while, but it'll be cool when it happens. And then, all right, this is it. Ready? As soon as it goes away, we have to throw. That was perfect.
That was so good. That was so good.
I may have smashed my leg, but we're good. My leg took the brunt of that action.
We did that. We practiced it last night, and we both threw, and the game paused for like a second, and then one ball dribbled out. It was like, all right,
Fantastic.
I guess. Do you want to catch that?
Yes. It looks huge.
Guess what? It's huge.
Oh, wow. He's so cute.
All right,
Lord.
3, 2, 1.
I can't take it. He's so cute.
How do you feel about Golduck? Do you like Golduck as well, or just a Psyduck fan?
I'm pretty partial to the Psyduck.
Very fair. I think Golduck's okay. I definitely think
It's okay,
Psyduck's
but-
way better.
Yes, Golduck isn't cute in my opinion.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah, it's not cute. It's not, but
It's kind of like I really love Wooloo, and then Wooloo's evolution is fine, but Wooloo is like far superior.
ooh, it's adorable. I like Meowth as a cat, so sure.
Meowth is cool.
I like Meowth. I like Meowth and Persian. I think Persian's design is cool.
I don't think I know Persian.
We'll see it at some
I
point.
don't know
but
most of the evolutions, honestly.
That's fair. Persian's a cool, like, panther-looking kind of cat.
Okay, alright.
The main problem I have with Meowth and Persian is Alolan.
Oh, cute though.
You're not an
You like
Alolan
that?
Meowth fan? I'm not either. I don't like
cute.
its little... Doesn't it have, like, facial hair? Isn't it? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, cats have whiskers.
Alright.
Not the same.
Alright, so don't move for a second. Can you come back in, please? This is where I was saying she accidentally despawned, that's fine. So
Why though? Because I was standing right there.
it's because you moved the controller.
Oh.
So
There.
that's the first trainer skip in the run. There are a few trainer skips we're gonna be doing. That one is the one I'm the worst at.
Seemed like you
And
just
it,
flew through there, though. Like, no hesitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. But I knew if she was trying to run through at the same time I was gonna mess it up. So I was like, just don't move.
It worked. It worked.
Yeah. So do some more shopping. We're gonna buy a lot more X items than last time. Last time we only bought 2. Now we're gonna buy a ton. Lack of a better word. Also, if there are any Let's Go runners in the chat, I'm sure that the way I did that trainer skip just terrified them, but it worked, so I don't care.
We don't question it if it worked.
All right, so now we are on to the SS Anne. It's where we're going to fight our rival again for a 3rd time. This is, like I mentioned, one of the fights that our speed is going to matter. So the first Pokemon that we're facing is going to be a Pidgeotto. I'm also going to be a Pidgeotto. And that is because we don't have Sizzly Slide, so I just need to deal a little bit more damage to grass types, which I can use Wing Attack for. And the main problem, though, is going to be the very first Pokemon. We're going to face a Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto has the move Sand Attack, and because you don't outspeed it, we might get hit by a Sand Attack, and if we do, we just kind of have to deal with it. Sand Attack is a move that lowers our accuracy, so we'll have the opportunity to miss if we get hit, but hopefully we just don't get hit. The one thing that is nice, though, is because it's a 2-controller, or we're always doing 2-controller battles, the AI will basically choose one of us to target. So it won't always use Sand Attack against Eevee. It could use Sand Attack against me. It could attack you or me. It really just depends on what they feel like doing. Like a good example was the Starmie on Misty. The Starmie used Swift. If she had targeted the Eevee, she would have used Scald. But because she targeted me, she ended up using Swift because Swift was the move that dealt the most damage.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I think a good spot for our first break will probably be after SS Anne. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Cool.
That works for us.
Cool.
All right, so I need to use... I forgot how to menu. It's fine. And that's exactly what we didn't want to have happen. All right, you keep basically use it again.
Use Buzzy Buzz?
Oh yeah, Buzzy Buzz again.
Oh no, the Sand Attack. No.
Just keep using it.
It's easier for menuing.
Come on, Eevee, break through. All right. We've all been there in the Sand Attack spiral. It's not fun.
It is not. All right, so continue with the fight. This is probably the most important one for us to hit.
Oh.
So you want to headbutt?
Wow.
That's fine.
Whoops.
Of course we hit that one.
Why wouldn't we?
All right, use headbutt this time.
You mean use the right one this time? Okay, there we go.
Perfect. All right.
Perfect is
We made it out. That is perfect.
That's fair.
Come on, Oddish, get out of here.
Headbutt this.
Yeah.
Headbutt again. You are awfully low on headbutt.
I was just gonna say that. I couldn't really see. I saw her at the last second. Is that a problem?
Use a different move than headbutt. Like use...
Anything in particular?
Buzzy Buzz. This fight has gone horribly.
Yeah.
No, Pidgeotto!
Oh no!
Okay,
We'll be
well.
fine.
Bellsprout coming out.
It's fine.
This is a certified Sand Attack moment.
Just keep using it. Oh, yeah.
Alright, there we go.
Alright. That's fine.
That is not what the notes say.
The notes don't account for what just happened.
I'm heavily relying on these notes, and that was not.
Good old Pokemon speedrunning time.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go up here and get the secret technique for cut. Well, chop down is what it's called in this game. If you know the originals, it's cut, which is gonna allow us to get through trees that kind of look like the one in the corner. This opens us up to basically progress to the next set of towns. And then, yeah, once we get off the boat, we can take our break.
Sounds great. I love how they try and come up with like new funny names for all the HMs that we know, but it's amusing.
Yeah. Most of the names are good.
I agree.
I don't know how I feel about strong push.
I feel like heavy push could have been good. Strong push is a
yeah.
little funny. What's the flying one called again?
It's Sky Dash.
Okay, that's a good name. I like that
That's
name.
a good one. And even like Flash is light up, I think, which isn't awful. It's like okay. But.
Yeah.
All right. I think we should be able to take a break.
All right, sounds good. We're gonna pause the timer, and everyone can get up, stretch, and we'll be back with more Pokemon Let's Go Eevee True Co-op. I've super been enjoying this run. I hope you all have too. And don't forget that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on our Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick, both with Hotfix and with GDQ 2023 costs. So please consider subscribing or giving us bits if you enjoy our daily GDQ content and events. But with that, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a bit. Hello everyone, welcome back to It's Dangerous to Go Alone. We have an awesome Pokemon True Co-op speedrun happening of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, one of my favorite Pokemon speedruns. And here we have Etiquette and Crazy Cat. How y'all doing? Ready to keep going?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Sweet. SSAM went, it went. And
It went.
Rival Fight went. And now we're going to keep moving. So whenever you're good, you can count us in and we can keep going.
All right. Sounds good. I think we are ready to go in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, really?
All right, let's go. Sorry.
All the timing.
It just loves to despawn you. It's
Yeah.
does not understand the category.
No. Oh my.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so
Right.
just to recap for anyone who might be curious,
Yes.
basically, we're playing Pokemon Let's Go. We're doing True Co-op, which means that we are basically using the 2-controller feature, support trainer feature of the game, but we have to use it for the entire run. So in a normal Pokemon run, or a normal Pokemon Let's Go run, you'll see the runner only use 2 controllers for like catches and like some battles. We have to always be using it. So the fact that she despawned herself meant we had to respawn it. So that was a little bit of confusion. You respawn by like shaking the controller. So now we are on to our next fights.
So what do we do about our dead poke?
All right, so I will just revive it.
Okay.
The game gives us 3 revives, so we're going to
Okay.
make use of that. If you missed the last fight we did before the break, it did not go so well. So
No.
Rival fights are always an experience. I feel like that was no exception,
yeah. The one part I'm a little bit worried about is the next rival fight has a very similar problem. So, depending on how that goes.
Don't have a good track record.
Actually, I don't need to heal. I should heal. Let's use this.
I do have a question from chat for Etiquette. How do you feel about coaching someone who isn't a speedrunner?
We'll be honest.
No, it's honestly it's really fun. One of the things I like about it is the fact that like during an actual run, I kind of have to think like as 2 people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is it's a weird way to play, but it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's Alicia there, and so I don't know. I really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun.
I think it's really interesting when you're having to teach someone something you've done a lot. You have to figure out how to explain it. because you yourself just
Yeah.
know what you're doing. Like I was trying to teach my husband how to speedrun like the first 2 chapters of Celeste, right? And it's like, oh, I just instinctively know which direction to go, but I need to say that to you. And it's very fun to think about all the internal things that our brain just does.
Yeah, and the other thing that's like, you also like don't think about as, you know, especially for me, you can use your last one. Especially for me is like, Crazy Cat doesn't know Pokemon very well.
No.
And so even something as simple as like, we're facing a Pikachu, like if something goes wrong, use a move that's like neutral or like super effective against electric types. Like that's just not something that she'd be able to do on her own. So there's also even like that level of like having to sort of plan ahead.
Well, yeah, like in the notes yesterday, he had used an attack move. I'm like, what's
right?
What falls under that? I don't know.
Yeah, that was actually almost the reason why we switched and have her doing the Eevee stuff. Was because there would be things like just use an attacking move. And it's like, I don't know which ones are the attacking moves. So
I think that's like a really, this experience is really helpful for people who are writing guides, because you should honestly be writing your guide as if you're showing it to someone who does not speedrun. They should be able to follow the guide without you giving additional information. It's a big problem I see in a lot of specifically RPG guides, where they'll just be like, go here or go talk to this person. And it's like, if you're not specifying where that is or who that person is, someone who may not be as intimately familiar with the game as you is not going to be able to do that instinctively. So it's a lesson about being detailed with your notes as if the person really doesn't know the game. You know, it's like, don't use a super effective move. Use use the buzzy move. Being specific is helpful.
Yep. I need that too. That's just how I learn and remember things.
Same.
So I feel like it's hard too, because you have to keep in mind how people learn differently and remember things differently. And
yeah, absolutely. That's why I think specificity is important.
Yes.
I love seeing those little Pokemon just jump. It's really cute.
oh, they're so cute.
I've never like
I love
seen
that.
They just boing.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. That was a little late. My part, not yours.
Yeah.
So one thing I just did there was we waited before we went, and like we waited for more things to spawn before we went and got something. Basically 2 things at play there. The first is that every area in the game only has a certain amount of Pokemon that can spawn at a time. And for this area, it's actually really low. Only 4 things can be on the screen at a time. So I waited for all 4 to spawn, and the reason I waited is because this game also has a hidden mechanic. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Has a hidden mechanic where if you're on a catch chain of a Pokemon, that Pokemon will be more likely to spawn. And the catch chain can literally be 1. So now that I've caught 1 Spearow will now take up 5% of spawns that it wasn't supposed to be there for. So like, basically, the one other Pokemon, or 2 Pokemon that we want to see here are Krabby and Nidoran female. Right now, 5% of my Krabbies that could spawn will be a Spearow instead.
Oh, okay.
And so I basically wait so I don't make the Pokemon I just caught more likely to spawn. This is one of the only areas that's really worth doing it in. A lot of the other areas, you're kind of like passing through, so it doesn't really make sense to wait. But here, there's 1 spot in grass. You either see something here or you don't. So, and there's the Nidoran female. That is awesome.
There we go. There's so many strategies to like making the Pokemon you need to see show up. It's very cool.
Yeah. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. I like how I start at 1 speed, and by the end of the 3, 2, 1, we are at a different speed.
It's anxiety provoking.
It's like, okay, gotta be in tune.
Oh, I didn't mark Weeping Bell. Okay. Nice. This is actually a pretty good set of catches that we have. So like I said, there's only 1 other thing that would be worth catching here, which is Krabby. if anything would spawn. I guess we're not getting anything else. All right. Weird. Sometimes the game just doesn't spawn. Honestly, what probably happened is something probably did spawn and ran off screen, so I couldn't see it anymore. So this is us. So this section of the game is really like one of the problem areas when it comes to writing in the notes. Up until now, we've basically been using Bellsprout as our partner the entire time, with that one little detour to start using the Pidgeotto. Now it really depends on what you caught is going to be what your partner is. It's not going to be clear from run to run. And so this is one of those sections where it's like second player should use any move, you know, stuff like that. It's really hard to explicitly say use this move because you could have one of 6 different Pokemon. Super Fang, that's fine. Pidgeotto's getting deposited. Alright, level 23, good. Experience here is a little bit less important than it was in the other areas, and that's mainly just because a lot of the Pokemon we're catching here are so high in experience yield. But with that being said, we still want to try to be like level 26 or so when we leave Rock Tunnel, which is where we're heading next, so we'll see how that goes.
Are any of the gym requirements going to come back into play other than the 50 catch one? Or are you just going to be like set on all the rest of them?
So the rest of them are pretty straightforward. I don't know why I did that. The rest of them are pretty straightforward when it comes to the various things. The main thing, it's more like the route is built around, is Sabrina's catch requirement is another level-based one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
1, 2, go. Sorry. Yeah, it's another level-based one, and it's basically we switch to a Pokemon that's over the level, so it's fine.
So it's not, yeah, it's not a huge deal.
All right, so 3, 2, 1, throw. Sorry about that.
Forget about me.
I started counting from 1 instead of 3, and I think it threw me off too.
As it would.
Math is hard, all right?
It really is.
Why is he throwing?
Yeah. Now Rhyhorn is very important. Rhyhorn is a ride Pokemon.
Oh, yes.
And what's the problem with ride Pokemon?
That I cannot be there.
Yeah. So one of us gets to ride a Pokemon, the other one has to run along the other side, and they are definitely different speeds.
Of course.
So the problem we had, I think we only had to get despawned like 1 time.
Yes.
That problem is basically going to be a lot more prevalent just because I'm going to be moving so much faster than she is.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to do this. This is another section. We're going to be catching a bunch of Pokemon, and so our party, like keeping the right things in our party is going to be very important. If we're, using a Pokemon in battle, obviously we need it there. If we're trying to evolve it, we need it there. But otherwise, it needs to not be in our party. Otherwise, it's taking space away from something else that might need to be there. So Buzzy Buzz.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is gonna be next. We'll hopefully catch a few things before then. This is another fight that you potentially can get outsped on.
Here we go.
Yeah, see,
Yep,
you have
and
no chance of
bye.
catching up. Some areas are small enough it doesn't matter, like that. You didn't have to get despawned, but... all right, we're gonna go for this guy. Nice Charmander spawn. We should not get that. All right. Prefer it to attack, please. Of course not. All right, 3, 2... Look at that.
Oh.
All right, 3, 2, 1, throw.
It was trolling you.
It really was. Really wanted excellent on this because it was glowing, which means it's going to be more experience. That's 2 evolutions. All right. Yeah, so our bad speed means we might get outsped by the Kangaskhan coming up. It actually might be worth us respawning the area, typically in an any % run, or especially in true co-op, because every time we like do a map transition, it wastes time because the trainer like spawns in. You don't do this. This is more something you do in a catch-em-all run. But we might respawn the area to try to get a Graveler. Graveler's the big experience bomb that we're going to get in this section. We also do need a Zubat. I don't think I saw one.
I definitely saw a few Golbats, but not... Yeah, I don't know if I saw a Zubat.
Okay, there's a Graveler. So I think we'll just sort of continue with this. All right, 3, 2, 1, throw. Perfect. Don't mind me. Alright, so Zubat we want to catch. We also would like a Cubone if we see one. Cubone can be tough to see here in Rock Tunnel.
Like everything is hard to see here.
Yeah, the visibility is rough in here.
I don't like this place.
Completely understandable.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a fight that we kind of take a little bit of a gamble on. So typically the way that we do this fight in single player is you X attack turn 1 because you almost always get Fake Out. Fake Out's a move that will flinch you, so you can't deal any damage that turn. We're gonna assume that the Rhyhorn gets targeted and try to go for a hit on the first turn, which we didn't get, which is fine. Now you can just double kick again. Cool. Yeah, and because we have bad speed, we did the Kangaskhan did outspeed us. If you had gotten hit by Bite instead, there's a chance you could have flinched again, which would have been sad, but it didn't happen, so we're fine. Alright, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
What was that?
Not a clue.
Not what we wanted. Also not what we wanted.
Oh.
It is really tough to just see Pokemon as you're going by. Also, basically nothing spawned here. Like, where is everything? Oh, there's a Zubat at least. Alright, I'm gonna bury, so don't click immediately. You can't go into the bag while somebody is ready to catch. So 3, 2, 1, go. So I have to, if I'm gonna use a berry, we have to coordinate so we don't accidentally prevent.
What'll it do? It'll just like one person be ready, stuck there.
It like lowlights the option, so I just can't select bag.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. So only other thing we want to catch is Cubone. If we don't see a Cubone, it's not the end of the world. I basically have 56 Pokemon that I'm planning on getting when all is said and done. So missing out on 2 because Cubone Marowak is fine. And it looks like our experience is good. We had a bit of an issue with our experience yesterday.
Yes.
But today it looks pretty solid.
Most of the catches have been going pretty well, stuff like that, so makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. All right. This is next. All right, so this is a fight where I kind of changed up some of these fights from the last time we did this, and one of the things I was taking advantage of is in the Pikachu route. I guess we haven't really been talking about the Pikachu versus Eevee stuff, but this section is where Pikachu really gets help from other Pokemon. And the main Pokemon it gains help from is a Nidoking. And Nidoking is a very good Pokemon, but one of the things it's a poison type Pokemon, which means it's weak to psychic moves. And we basically want to make sure that whoever our partner is here doesn't die. And so being weak to psychic means we would take that Psy Beam and probably get fainted. I should have gone. Whatever. I'm actually going to be taking sort of a page out of we're going to be taking a page out of the Pikachu playbook and actually using Nidoking later on. But just not quite yet. Because like I said, it does get itself a little bit dead on that fight.
Nidoking and Nidoqueen are just such good Pokemon in these games. Like, they're such powerhouses.
They really are, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't any % true co-op run, and the true co-op rules are just whenever we can have the second player out, we have to. So that's a little bit of, it's a bit slower than the standard run just because of that, but it's fun. I think the routing differences are cool. And the battle strategies.
To give some perspective, we're about we're like a little bit less than 10 minutes. Sorry. Yeah, you're bouncing a little bit. We're a little bit less than 10 minutes behind like the any % run at this point. And we did have a really bad fight in SSN, but the vast majority of that time is basically that animation happening every single time that we end a battle or leave an area. Those add up, honestly. It's like a second every time, maybe a bit more, but it does take time to happen. And there are some battles where like having a second player does absolutely nothing for us. It's not any faster, it's not even any safer. So
but yeah, this is a built-in, the co-op is like built into the game. You have 2 Joy-Cons, you can automatically play 2-player. So it's really fun.
All right. So this fight here isn't too bad in single player. We have minus speed, which makes it a bit worse. But in the 2-player run here, I mentioned earlier, normally we have Sizzly Slide, which is one of Eevee's special moves, but we don't teach it in this because Double Kick is just a bit nicer if you're forced to use 2 players for everything. This is the one fight where it's like, we're gonna lose at least a turn, and it actually can be a little dangerous, so hopefully we'll be fine. Go ahead and Buzzy Buzz here. And then what we do depends on which Pokemon comes out next. We got Wing Attack, that's awesome. So the whole Sand Attack thing that happened could have happened here too, but it didn't.
Okay, good.
We still have more to worry about, but Raichu first is perfect, so that's going to be this set.
Yeah.
So you are actually going to X attack on me.
Yippee.
And then go left one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Are you ready?
Right arm.
Nice.
Very cool. And now if we had Sizzly Slide, you would one-shot the Gloom. But
Oh, yeah.
instead you're going to headbutt and do probably about 2/3 to it. But hopefully we just get a flinch.
Oh, that would roll. Oh.
No, that's fine. Not the end of the world. And then go for another headbutt. Our catch count is 32.
Okay. We're moving.
Oh, actually, no, sorry, 31, because I marked Nidoking, which I didn't actually evolve yet. I have the Moonstone, I just didn't evolve it yet.
We still have definitely a few more catch sections and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Alright. So we're gonna head up here. I need to unmark Cubone because we did not get one. And this is gonna be next.
I love the rival just sprinting away.
I know.
That would be me. If I'm being honest, that would be me.
Fair.
I know myself.
Real fair.
Hi, Cubone. I like that you see this Cubone, but
So
you don't get the opportunity to catch it or anything. It's just like the story Cubone.
Oh wait, I have to get the actual Pokemon out first. Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. So the original games, you don't have really any storyline here. You kind of go straight over to Celadon City and go through the Rocket Hideout and get the Sylph Scope, and then you can come back. But this game adds a bit of storyline here. It's like, oh, here's the Cubone. It's obviously really sad, but there's a bunch of ghosts, so you kind of have to leave. And then once you leave, spoilers for like 30 seconds from now, once you leave, Team Rocket steals the Cubone. And so your objective going through Rocket Hideout is to get the Cubone back. It's not necessarily, you know, up for interpretation like it used to be.
I always liked this storyline in Pokemon Tower. I thought it was a cool part of the game. I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
The music in this of Lavender Town also is so good. The mood is so excellent. I thought all the music in this was really well done in terms of like, you know, it's good based on the originals. The original music also really good, but I think they did a great job modernizing it.
Yeah, it definitely has its own, even though, like you said, it's remixes of the originals, it's definitely has its own feel to it. Alright. So now we're going to use Nidoking as our partner for this section. Nidoking has two main things that are really good about it. The first is it has the move Poison Jab. Poison Jab is a pretty powerful move. Nidoking is a poison type, so it gains same type attack bonus. It also has the move Helping Hand, which we're not going to use a ton, but Helping Hand is a move that basically means that my partner is going to gain a 50% damage boost. So it's kind of like using an X item. In some cases, it's better than using an X item. So we'll be using that in a couple of spots. Not a ton, but a couple.
Still see myself.
Yeah, you won't
Miracle.
respawn. Alright, head through the other underground. And then yeah, we're gonna head right into Rocket Hideout. There's one Pokemon that would be worth catching if we see it in the grass out here. But it's an Abra, it's relatively rare, so.
We had a bunch yesterday, though. Didn't we?
We did. Yeah, yesterday we had 3 Abras
Yeah.
spawn.
That's wild.
absurd.
Yeah.
and no Abra. All right, that's fine.
You used them all up yesterday. So sad.
Yeah.
Really, though. All right, so we're going to do two things here. The first is we're going to teach another one of Eevee's moves, Glitzy Glow. Glitzy Glow is a very powerful move. It's basically the move Psychic, but it also sets up a light screen, which boosts our special defense. And then we're also going to talk to this lady. This is Madame Celadon. Madame Celadon is, if you know normal Pokemon games, the ability Synchronize. What Synchronize does is it makes wild Pokemon that you encounter the same nature as your Pokemon. So if I have actually Abra is a Pokemon that has the ability. If I have a Kadabra or an Abra that is a quiet nature, then every Pokemon I encounter will be a quiet nature as well. Pokemon Let's Go doesn't have abilities, so there is no Synchronize, but they still give you the ability to use that feature. So we pay a lady 10,000 Poké Dollars, and every Pokemon that we encounter for the rest of the day will have the same nature. In this case, we set it to Modest because our main Pokemon later on is a special attacker. And yeah.
Yeah, because that's for the Starmie, right? For that we'll get later on. We want it to be a Modest Pokemon.
Exactly. Yep. The only other nature that would kind of potentially work is the nature Timid, which is plus speed minus attack. But the special attack is just too important. All right. So we head into Rocket Hideout here. A few mandatory fights here. This whole section is actually skippable in the originals because you can use a Pokédoll on the Ghost in the Tower, but the Ghost in the Tower in this game is an actual cutscene, so you have to go through all this. Let's read this one.
I don't know if it's because I didn't play that much of the Kanto region, but I find the Rocket Hideout so unnavigable. It is so easy to get lost in here.
It is.
It is a nightmare.
It is. I'm so used to it, but yeah, it absolutely is.
I remember during my speedrun, I was just like, that was an example of like the guide. I was like, oh, no, I don't know what floor I'm on. I don't know where I am. You're telling me to go back to the 3rd floor? I might be on 7. Who knows?
Yep. All right. Yeah, so we're going to go down a floor, and then this is going to be an example of what I was talking about earlier. So your goal is to get to the bottom of the room.
Yeah.
Let's race.
Oh.
I have a feeling she's going to beat me.
Where am I?
At the bottom of the room already.
I've never gotten that fast.
Cheater.
Oh, yeah, there I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
Etiquette, you should have just copied her. I don't know what you were doing.
Apparently.
Why he wasted all that time.
All right. You're on this one. Yeah, so this section's kind of nice. This is a section within the single player run that you kind of play depending on how you're feeling, depending on how your run is going at the time. It really depends because bouncy again.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It really depends because like if you're at low health, you might want to do this fight differently because like the way that I just did this fight is a way that you can do it in the single player run. If you're at lower health, because you can get your Eevee up to full health by using Bouncy Ball. There's a faster way to do the fight where you basically do it one controller and X attack, but then you're going to take a lot more damage. And so it really depends on how you're feeling, how your run is going. There's a lot more factors than you can like really write into a set of notes. And the current record holder, Etchy, is like really good at figuring out the fastest way for his particular run to get through Hideout.
And it seems like this run still is having developments and a lot of activity in a bunch of different categories, which was really great for a game that came out in 2018. It's still a very popular run.
Yeah, there's a ton of research done over the last year into things like even something as simple as we learned things about the catch formula. And knowing about the catch formula has influenced the run. Because we learned things like, I didn't even mention it, but now that we're doing our catches, we're both using Great Balls. That wasn't a thing. We didn't both use Great Balls for the longest time because we always thought that the catch rate was only done using the best ball that you have. So a Great Ball and a Pokeball would be the same as a Great Ball. But we learned that that's not the case. And so now we buy more Great Balls, we sell all of our Pokeballs, and do all of our mid-game catches like that. And so really since like maybe April or May, there have been a ton of developments like as simple as that that have really sort of influenced how we do the run.
Yeah, and that's great because the more you understand about the game, you're obviously going to be able to develop strategies that are more consistent. And this is a game that's wildly inconsistent just due to how it works. So the more consistently you can figure out, the better.
Yeah, in terms of battles, this is probably the most consistent speedrun in Pokemon. I've mentioned like, oh, this battle can be a little scary because we have minus speed. We don't take minus speed normally, so it's normally not an issue. The first fight that I think is worth saving for in a single player run is the 4th Elite Four member.
That's like, wow, that's really impressive that it's not something you have to worry about.
Yep. And so that's one of the things. I think this is probably one of the best beginner Pokemon speedruns because you can focus on the like Pokemon speedrun part of the game without having to worry about things like battles, respawn.
I was gonna say, I thought I was still there.
Without worrying about things like battles, like killing you unexpectedly. It's certainly possible to die to other fights, but there's typically really safe ways to handle it. And unless there's a fight that's already using a second controller, you can a lot of times use the second controller to get yourself out of a sticky situation.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's one of the 2 Pokemon speedruns I've ever done, and it was very easy to follow along and kind of figure out, especially with people helping you. It's really great.
Yep, we're still going that way. Okay, I need to do a bit of menuing here. We're about to do a battle that, unfortunately, Crazy Cat will not get to participate in.
Nope.
Because it is a standard double battle. We're already at full health, basically. Oh, there's no nice way to have my party. It's fine. So this section's a little bit awkward. I'm doing a little bit of an outdated strategy for Jesse and James here. We've started not doing the party swap I just did, but I still kind of feel the need to do it in this category just because of actually 2 fights later, Giovanni doesn't work as nice. You'll notice I have a Jigglypuff here who is vastly underleveled, and that is for the simple reason of it is bait. We essentially don't want.
Sad. Oh, goodbye.
We don't want the Eevee to take too much damage. Is effectively what's happening, and so you can force the Arbok to attack. It's not guaranteed, but you can basically force the Arbok to attack the Jigglypuff because it sees a guaranteed KO. And now that the Arbok is paralyzed, we are faster than it, and we can get rid of it. For these next couple fights, can you do the second player?
Sure.
I'll even tell you exactly what to do.
Okay.
It just makes it a little bit easier to
You got this. I'm a believer.
We'll see.
makes it a little bit easier for us to deal with the party management. Just the next 2 fights that you have to do it that way. Oh, we are slower than Archer. This is
Not good.
a situation to be in. One of the situations of all time.
Yeah, this is where it comes back to our little slow Eevee. They're trying their best,
Yes.
but just not the best nature here.
They're doing a great job, to be honest.
I know,
It's
I
just-
agree. A little slow.
Okay, we'll be fine. So you're gonna X special me twice, and then I will tell you what to do here.
Okay.
All right, so this is Archer. This is one of the fights that we always 2-controller in the 1-player run. This was probably, if not the hardest, the second hardest fight before we started allowing 2-controller. Nope.
Nope. No, please.
And you're gonna go left twice,
You.
and then use it on Eevee.
I don't know who you are.
Yep, so I am slower. Let's go, Eevee. That was a great range to hit.
That
I will
was
say.
sick. Very
was phenomenal.
excellent.
All right.
I wasn't sure if that was sarcasm.
No,
or-
that was perfect. You can use Helping Hand here, or yeah, use the X special. That's fine.
Oh, my helping hand. That I've never done.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Helping Hand is something you're going to use on the next fight. Helping Hand is the move when you go to fight. It is the move in the first slot.
Okay. Oops.
That was great. Our so our Eevee is plus special attack, and that's basically the reason why I was able to KO that. That normally does not die. All right, and here is Giovanni.
Hi, Cubone. We're gonna save you.
You're so cute.
I love this little Cubone.
Oh my god.
All right, so this is what you're doing first.
So yeah, here's our Persian friend.
Yep.
I love Persian. I'm also a big
Alright, and then
Skitty
you're gonna
fan.
use Helping Hand here. So Helping Hand is a move. It makes your
That was scary.
good clutch.
Yikes.
You are actually going to use a super potion on yourself this turn.
Fun.
No, Helping Hand is a move that is really only relevant in double battles. Pokemon has this weird thing where it has a lot of really good moves
No.
for double battles, but then doesn't feature a lot of double battles on yourself, the Nidoking.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. It has a lot of moves that are really good for double battles, and then doesn't feature double battles in the game very often. Helping Hand is one of those moves. The main competitive format for Pokemon is doubles, which is where the moves are basically used. But Helping Hand is a move that applies to your partner. So because you use Helping Hand that turn, my moves became 50% stronger. And we use Helping Hand there instead of an X attack because at the time, this is going to get into math, sorry. Basically, I was at +4 attack. +4 attack means my attack was 3 times as strong. If I go to +6 attack, which is what would happen after an X attack, I'd get to 4 times as strong. And the jump from 3 times to 4 times is only a 33% boost. But Helping Hand is a 50% boost, so Helping Hand is actually better in that case than another X attack. And that damage does matter. We missed that range yesterday.
Yes.
So
It's one of those things where, like, you're using Helping Hand, it's also not using up some of your items, too, which can be beneficial.
Exactly.
So...
yeah, that was another thing we ran into yesterday was I did not have enough money for what I was trying to buy for X items, and so I cut out a ton of X items. We bought 21 X attacks yesterday, and we bought 12 today.
yeah, that makes
For
sense.
perspective.
To make sure you have enough money in the end game.
Exactly. I should have lured. I'm sorry. For these fights, you just use anything. Because I'm still the Eevee for the time being. There it is. Actually, that's not true. For one of these fights... you should use anything. In the next one, you should use Glitzy Glow. So we want to lure again. There's only one thing. Actually, we didn't catch Cubone, so we could technically get Cubone here. It's very rare, but it does happen on occasion. The only other Pokemon worth catching here is Ghastly.
Yeah, it is fun how there's some Pokemon you're so used to getting early, and I was like, oh, I can get them now. Okay. And it just happens. So we'll see.
Yep.
I find the dialogue in this section very funny, because they're like, the ghosts were actually Pokemon, but the Pokemon are still ghosts. So it's very confusing.
And some of the people in here have those Pokemon.
Right. So why I've never understood the dialogue here.
Good enough.
What just happened?
I didn't count down.
No.
I was like, just throw.
He said throw after he threw, so I'm like, okay.
Experience here doesn't matter. So this section is the last section we're doing with like this team. After this, we will not be using our Eevee anymore, which is kind of sad.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll have a new main, and it'll be fun.
Fair enough.
Alright. I am going to drop the lure when I get the opportunity. Because even though we can get Cubone, it's rare enough that it's not really worth planning for. Alright, so here you're using anything. Yeah, we had you heal because this Ghastly, or Haunter, actually has... Well, first of all, I didn't realize it was faster than us, so that's kind of bad. Has Sucker Punch, and so you could have gone down because of that. So now we're full heal.
So many spinners in this area. Do not
It's
like
a
them.
Absolutely a lot. Alright, so now you are back to being Eevee for this fight, and then I do this one by myself, and then you will be this. Sorry for the confusion.
What am I doing? Anything? I already
No,
forgot.
Glitzy Glow.
Oh my.
If I had a second Moonstone, I would have evolved the Jigglypuff. There are 4 Pokemon that evolve via Moonstone, and Jigglypuff is the only one that doesn't learn a move when you evolve it. So it is technically the fastest. Cutscene time.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any other stones you use in the run, or is it just the moonstones?
Moonstones, we're going to use a water stone on the Staryu to get Starmie.
Sure.
And then conditionally, you can get a Firestone for either Vulpix in this game or Growlithe in the other game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot more common to get Growlithe, or to evolve Growlithe, just because you can evolve Growlithe into Arcanine, and Arcanine is a faster ride Pokemon than the Rhyhorn is.
Right. That's nice.
Yeah. Last minute Cubone.
Cubone, where you at?
Nope. All right, that's fine. We didn't need it anyways. Let me think. Okay, yeah, so after this section, we're gonna do another Jesse and James fight. This fight is identical to the last one. They're a little bit higher level, but so are we, so it's gonna go play out basically the exact same. But again, it's an actual double battle, so we don't do it as it's a weird system.
I never realized how strange it is of like true double battle versus the other double battles. I never thought about that. It is really nice casually that the second player can just really drop in and out whenever though. It's a big plus casually.
Yeah. The only thing, and it would be nice for speedruns if we could do it, but unfortunately we can't. One thing that would be really nice is if you could drop out of being a 2 controller in the middle of a battle.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Unfortunately, you just can't do that.
Yep.
Because there are some battles where you would want to start the battle probably as a 2 controller battle, but then finish it as a single battle. Because even if there's actually 2 things at play there. Even if you are done using the second player, there's really nothing you can do except just pick moves. And that obviously takes time. Like, you can't be like, all right, game, I'm done with this. I'm not doing anything. Just stop asking me. The other thing is, even if you have a situation where, like, let's say I've got 2 Pokemon in my party, and on the first turn of battle, one of them faints. So now it's effectively a single battle because I only have 1 Pokemon that's actually alive. The game still lags like it's a double battle.
Oh, that's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. Because there are absolutely cases where I would do that in the main run. All right. So now we have the Pokeflute. Pokeflute really opens up the game. We now have access to make it down to Fuchsia City. Fuchsia City is where we get Surf, or the secret technique, Sea Skim. And that basically means that we have access to, like, the rest of the game, almost. The only areas we can't really go are, like, Victory Road. So, make our way over here. We choose to go down the left side of Kanto instead of the right side because it's just 1 route instead of 3 with trainers and winding paths.
I love how giant that Poliwrath is.
It's huge,
It's
yeah.
so large. Oh, there's a question from chat. What does it mean to be a true co-op? So in single player runs, they voted that since everyone has access to 2 Joy-Cons, you can just do the single player run with both Joy-Cons and bounce in and out of having the second player like you see. But for true co-op, you have to have the second player on as much as possible. So that's what we're doing. And you have a physical second player playing with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we don't have a board for it, but I guess in theory you could do a true co-op run by yourself. So you, like, follow the rule set except don't have an actual second person. But as far as I know, no one's really done that, so.
I think it's fun to have the actual 2 players doing it together. That's cute.
Yeah, and we actually, this is the game that also has the most popular other co-op category, which is the Diploma category. And basically Diploma is catch 'em all, so you have to catch all 150 Pokemon between 2 people. And you end the game when you both have the Diploma, which is basically the in-game reward for completing the Pokedex. That's a really cool run. That is actually a very popular run. It was super popular last year. People still do runs, but it really kicked off last year. And it's a ton of fun to do if you have the ability to.
Diploma is really cool. It was actually the very first run I had on the show was Diploma, and it is like a 6-hour run. It's quite long, but really fun because of how you divide up, the one player playing Eevee, one player playing Pikachu, how you divide and conquer the different catches. Very, very fun category.
All right. We need to be a little bit careful. No, we don't. We're fine.
Okay.
So because I waited to use Lure by accident, a Pokemon that spawned might not have been the max level. Ponyta specifically, I'm going to switch Pokeballs, by the way. Ponyta specifically has to be level 39, otherwise we can't evolve it in 1 turn, or 1 rare candy. So 3, 2, 1, throw. Because Rapidash, when we evolve the Ponyta, is going to be my new ride Pokemon. And Rapidash is very fast compared to the Rhyhorn. So...
no chance for me.
As I say, we just saw a glimpse of Jess not being able to catch up. It's going to be even worse. So one other Pokemon we want to catch here, and that is Doduo. So let's go ahead and deposit the Rhyhorn. I should have waited on that. It's fine. It's a rare candy. It's actually worth picking up a rare candy specifically for this. We're still catching stuff, so we can let the Ponyta evolve naturally. But the time you save by having Rapidash as your ride Pokemon just immediately outweighs whatever time it takes to get and use the rare candy. Alright. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I need to go into the actual thing and mark it as my ride Pokemon. And now we're zooming.
Yeah.
And
bye.
You have no shot.
No.
Yeah, Rapidash is so fast.
Yeah.
There's Doduo. That's actually perfect.
Oh, awesome.
Route 17 is a route that can make or break a run sometimes. Both of these catches are more or less required. So, all right, 3, 2, 1, throw. And then, so we didn't get this, so we will get that. I'm a little surprised that we have to get coughing. I guess not.
Why are you surprised?
So the catch route normally doesn't have the 3 fossils. But we're gonna get the 3 fossils, for reasons that we will... Basically, I need to have Aerodactyl for the run. And if I'm getting Aerodactyl, it's faster to keep the other fossil too. And we didn't really lose out on... Normally the fossil would replace the coughing in the catch route. We didn't get Cubone, but I think that's like the only thing we didn't catch. And
Pretty
so
good overall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not missing too much.
Yeah, I think Cubone is the only thing that I planned on getting that we didn't. And then I did a different Moonstone evolution than normal. And we did get Meowth, which was cool. Alright. Grab those. Makes some of the late catches a little easier. And then... It's fine. It's just funny.
There's nothing I can do there.
Come on, make it to the door. Yes! So we have to catch the 50 Pokemon. I just saw a question in chat. We have to catch the 50 Pokemon because there is a gym requirement, actually in this city, that requires us to have 50. It's just the flat out number requirement.
Oh, so close.
That was a cutscene.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and that's what makes the catch route like so critical to the runs, getting that 50 in the best way possible. It's really fun. I think this speedrun would be a lot less interesting if that. It would be a lot shorter, but it would be a lot less interesting if it didn't have that requirement.
Yeah, I'm working on. Well, I say working on like it's a regular thing. I started it and just never picked it back up. A thing where I was going through and comparing the Pikachu and Eevee records, and basically trying to single out the actual differences between the games, which means I have to like eliminate the time it takes to catch Pokemon, because you catch Pokemon in both games. And so I'm basically figuring out how much time you actually spend catching Pokemon. And the number we typically use in the community is about 30 seconds per Pokemon. It's pretty close to that. It's actually a little bit more. And so if you figure there's 50 Pokemon, 30 seconds per Pokemon, that's 25 minutes right there. Just in like the actual catch sequence, as well as the catch sequence and like the Dex entry screen and all that stuff.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Wow.
That is a ton of time. It's even little things like, one of the ones that always gets me is every time you level up a Pokemon that doesn't need to be leveled up, it's 2 seconds wasted. Doesn't sound like a lot. And one of the things people always ask is like, oh, you buy the Magikarp, why don't you evolve it into Gyarados? You get the Magikarp at level 5, it evolves at level 20, that's 15 levels. At 2 seconds a level, that's 30 seconds you lose just on level ups. Which is, you don't realize it like in a vacuum, but it is actually a lot of time. All right, so I went and grabbed the Aerodactyl there, or the old Amber. You revive it into an Aerodactyl, and that's going to be useful later on.
Oh, here I go again.
Yeah. So another moment Jess does not get to play.
Oh.
Very sad.
When you are
the surfer Eevee is so cute though.
I know.
So it's kind of worth it.
Yeah, when you are surfing or when you are flying in the sky, which is a post-game feature, you cannot...
Am I in this?
No.
I didn't think so.
You cannot have the second player out. So whenever I get back on land, you will have to respawn. And we have one more catch that we're doing, and then we are done with our catches, which is
very nice.
Exciting.
Yeah, I like catching them.
All right. You don't have to respawn here. I'm just going to grab this item and get right back in the water. So that's the water stone. That's how we're going to evolve our Staryu. Staryu is going to be our new main, or rather Starmie is going to be our new main. Alright, so respawn.
Just to disappear again.
Well. We're going to go in here and get our fossils. So this is something you'll actually not ever see a standard top run do. Recently, the community voted to split out. There's a glitch. It's not really a glitch. It is a trick, I will say. A skip that is kind of weird. And basically the community voted to have two categories, one that allows the skip and one that does not. Runs that don't do the skip, which are the most popular runs, don't ever get fossils. But the fossils are actually currently required to do the skips because you need Aerodactyl specifically. But that won't come into play until Victory Road, so we're not going to worry about it too much now. I just wanted to mention it. All right, now we're going to go to Pokemon Mansion. Sorry.
Never even happened.
And we're going to do some menuing. So you can go away. I can actually put the Aerodactyl in my party, which is awesome.
But what are all of the rideable Pokemon? Because we have the Rhyhorn, the Aerodactyl, the Rapidash, the Arcanine. Are there more than that?
Yeah, there are a bunch of them. So you've got the ones that we see in the run. There are other gimmicky ones like Kangaskhan and Snorlax are really slow, but they're just kind of fun to ride around on. You can actually ride around on Starmie, weirdly enough.
Huh.
You just sort of ride on its back as it floats through. It's kind of weird, yeah.
That's very funny.
There are also, I think, 2 ride Pokemon for the water, so you can ride a Gyarados and a Lapras. And then Aerodactyl, Dragonite, and Charizard you can ride in the sky. You can also ride them on the ground, but you can ride them in the sky too.
That's very fun.
All right. So we are going to catch a... Not Rattata. Coughing. Or Jigglypuff to
I was
you.
gonna say that.
Jigglypuff. Yeah, so true.
Oh my god, look at the Almanite!
So cute.
It's being really adorable, just like scuttling on the ground. I love the Pokemon just being on the overworld. It's just what gave so much charm to this game.
Yeah,
It's so cute.
Oh my god.
Alright, ready for a side throw?
Oh god.
3, 2, 1, go! That was
Very
perfect.
nice.
I was afraid of getting hit in the face.
That was excellent. No issues at all. I was not terrified.
I was not prepared.
I was only a little bit worried because I asked Crazy Cat earlier if she remembered how to do the side throws, and she said yes, and that was the only practice we had at side throws. Alright, so in this next room, what you're gonna do is there's gonna be a guy to our bottom right.
Yeah.
Go walk in front of him.
Okay.
Like, no, walk
Oh, it's
like
in.
directly in
All
front
right.
of him, yeah.
Oh my lord.
So this is what I was saying earlier.
Thought it was.
He didn't walk all the way to me because we were standing in his way.
right.
Got you.
Very,
This
very
is the only
subtle
place-
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the only place it's actually kind of useful. We are way down here, sorry.
Oh.
This one. You are now Starmie.
Oh,
So-
right.
Don't look for the word Eevee anymore.
I still will, but it's fine.
And Psychic is in 3.
Okay. Yeah, he told me if I had to throw to the side to pretend like I was opening a window curtain.
Yep.
Nice.
Good advice.
The side
Hell
throws
yeah.
are very challenging, I will say.
Yeah. Yesterday I had to pretend like I was punching something?
Oh, we had to catch an Onyx, which is like up high.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like pretend like you're just like
Like punching.
punching.
It worked, but oh, I'm not paying any attention right now.
Psychic again.
Okay.
And then this is our next fight. It's a very simple fight. Scald is the first in the first
Scald,
slot.
Scald,
So. Alright. And then I need to grab this. You don't always get this Firestone. This is to evolve the Vulpix that we caught way earlier.
To pick it up even though you might not know.
Well,
or you might not get.
By this point, you would know if you
Okay,
need it.
okay.
It's basically
Okay.
Yeah, so the Firestone, once you get to about Rock Tunnel, almost every single Pokemon you're getting comes in a pair, because you can catch it and evolve it. But if you come out of Rock Tunnel maybe at like... That's unfortunate. If you come out of Rock Tunnel at like an odd number of Pokemon, then you can even it out and get to 50 by getting Ninetales. So it really just depends on the circumstances around it.
This Omanite, yeah. I'm like, this Omanite still just makes me so happy.
I know.
It's great.
It's just too cute.
Wait, somebody in chat said thanks for the advice etiquette, and I have no idea what advice I gave.
I think the side
Oh.
throw.
Gotcha.
It's good advice.
It was very helpful. But when I throw, I do it with way more force than I would a window curtain.
Well, no, it's like you're like ripping open the curtain, like it's a brand new day.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. No, I don't ever do
The
that.
real thing you do in real life, yes.
That doesn't happen. No.
All right, so yeah, about an hour and a half ago, we got our second badge. Now we're about to get our third. All right, I need to answer the questions correctly. Not too hard.
And do you think we're good for a break after Blaine? After we answer all these wonderful questions?
Yeah, I think after the Blaine fight would be a perfect time.
Awesome.
Basically, after this, we sort of go on a bit of a boss rush. We have unlocked the rest of the game, but we still have to do like all the gyms and stuff. So basically, go through all the last of the gyms. One more story section, really, and then on to the Elite Four.
Fantastic.
All right, so this fight will be pretty straightforward. This fight is, even with one controller, really straightforward. It's basically use an X special to double your special attack and then scald everything. But because we have two players, we can just use that X item at the same time that we're attacking. All right.
We got all the quiz time emotes in chat. Very good. I love that emote so much.
It's so good.
It's so fantastic. It's very niche, but I love it.
All right. That's fine. No, ideally I'm not using agility. It's the smallest little optimization. If I use agility, I become faster than Starmie, which means I'm going to get to go first on the final turn of battle.
Oh.
Where normally you would KO the Ninetales. Now I'm also going to get a turn.
Oh, okay.
It's like the smallest optimization. It doesn't matter. But you'll see I went first that time. All right. Yeah. Skull.
Cool.
It's the last one. We're gonna have an evolution here, unfortunately, and then we can take our break.
No problem. Sounds good.
All right.
Sweet.
All right. Yeah, 45 pokes at the end of Blaine. That's a really good spot to be. 5 more, but it's all evolutions except for 2 gift Pokemon, which are just faster to get than other alternatives.
Then you going out and trying to catch something else, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Blaine, we don't care. All right, and break time.
All right. Thank you everyone for the quiz time emotes, and now it is break time. So I hope you all have been enjoying this. And if you missed the beginning of the run, you want to watch it all the way through, you can go to Games Done Quick YouTube where it's going to be uploaded there. Also, we talked about Diploma. You can go back and watch the Diploma run that we had on here if you're interested in that. That was very fun and chaotic. So yeah, we're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back with more True Co-op Let's Go Eevee in a bit. Hello everyone, welcome back from break on It's Dangerous to Go Alone. We are at the final stretch of our True Co-op Let's Go Eevee with Etiquette and Crazy Cat. It has been fantastic. We have this little Almanite friend that we are in love with, just like chilling right now. This is my favorite little Pokemon, I gotta say. But yeah, we are, in the final stretch here. We have almost our 50 Pokemon caught, which is kind of what we've been working towards the whole run. But I think we're pretty much ready to get going if y'all are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
So let's resume in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So for anyone who might just be joining, this is Let's Go Eevee True Co-op.
Yes.
So True Co-op basically means, so the game has a 2-controller function. You can basically summon a second player at any time, like that. And the idea behind True Co-op versus like the normal any percent run is in any percent, one person is allowed to play with both Joy-Cons and make them like appear and disappear whenever they want. Sometimes it's better to use 2 controllers, sometimes it's not. But in True Co-op, we are forced to use both players, have 2 physical people playing together, and we're always using the second player. So even though this fight coming up here is a great example, we absolutely do not need 2 players. It's a very straightforward fight, but it is required by the category to be using 2 players. So it allows for some like pretty interesting routing, knowing that you have to use the second player. In main any percent routing, it's kind of like a trade-off. Like, is it worth it to use 2 players? Because 2 players can be slower, but maybe more safe and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a trade-off, but for this, we kind of have to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, having seen both the single player and now the True Co-op, I think it's very cool to see the like very subtle route differences. And it's always fun to speedrun with a friend, a wife, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That's actually, it was one of the things I was, every time we've done this run, and especially today, obviously we have a bit more eyes on us than usual. It's really fun to like showcase, I am very much a Pokemon speedrunner.
Yeah.
I do Pokemon speedruns all the time. My wife here is not a Pokemon speedrunner. She's not really even a Pokemon player. But she's able to like, follow along, have a good time. So it's definitely something, I recommend if you have somebody. Unfortunately, you have to be like physically together. It's not like some other co-op games where you can play together online. But if you do have somebody like that, this is a fun way to play the game. And it's even to play it casually like this. It's a bit overpowered, as you can see. Like I'm over here doing nothing.
Yeah.
But like we could both be damaging our opponent at the same time. But it's still a fun way to play, so. All right. Alright, so this is the next fight. I'm going to teach Thunderbolt to you. Thunderbolt's going to basically round out our moveset. Starmie is a fantastic Pokemon. Starmie's actually used in the main speedrun, normal any percent run. It is Water Psychic. It's a great typing for this game. And the moves it gets are just really good. So here's Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will go in slot 2.
Yeah, it's like not only does Starmie have great typing, but is overpowered for a lot of the gyms we're about to waltz into and destroy, so it's great.
Exactly. All right. I think if you just can get yourself into that corner, you won't despawn because I'm about to go back to the left.
Sure try.
We do have a question from chat. As someone who's had issues in the past learning the single player route due to missing mandatory Pokemon captures for riding, any tips for the new trainers learning the game?
Yeah, so there aren't too many Pokemon that are like truly mandatory. The notes will often say a Pokemon is like required, like Rhyhorn is sort of required. You can kind of get away without it if you know what you're doing, but honestly, most areas in the game will have a way for you to respawn Pokemon. Just
Do I need to?
you're fine where you are.
Where am I is the question.
We'll have a way to like respawn Pokemon. A good example is like if you're in a cave, you can run into a ladder and back out of it, and that'll respawn the area. So if there's a Pokemon you know that you or think you need to have, you can always do that. The other thing is honestly just sort of ask about it. You know, it's tough, especially for a game like this that has such a bizarre way of playing with the whole catches and everything. It's really tough to write notes around that. And so it might be easier to just have like a one-on-one conversation with somebody, either in the Pokemon Speedrunning Discord, or the just like, you know, messaging one of the top runners of the game, and sort of pick their brain on like, how do I deal with the situation? Because a lot of times there's only a few like truly mandatory Pokemon. Like Starmie is one of them, and that's almost it.
Yeah, you
for
need
the
that to
entire
like
run.
fight stuff in the end game, but otherwise it's like, oh, I had this situation where I missed this. What would you recommend? Like,
Yeah.
it's such a flexible
Exactly.
game. I think asking questions is really helpful. When I did my run, I had a bunch of speedrunners in the call with me, and I would just be like, oh, do I get this? Do I get that? You know, that was really helpful.
Yeah. All right.
I love Erica's vibe. I'm a fan
I
of
know.
Erica. Her gym is a mess to get through, but she's cool.
Yeah. I don't think I really liked Erica too much until this game. I think Let's Go really nailed it with like character designs and stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think a lot of, like, just this game has a lot of personality in a good way.
Yeah. Even that. Even the little tail
It's
slap
so
when you like
cute!
win a gym battle. Yeah.
Yeah. Having the Pokemon just
Which-
on the screen gives it a lot of life.
All right. So we are doing this next. One of my favorite strategies in a Pokemon game is when you fly to the town you're already in.
Pokemon
And it's just-
Classic.
I know, I love it. It's just faster to like do that because we're leaving the town this way than it is to backtrack your whole way. Hey, there's the Aber that we wanted earlier.
Oh, sweet.
All right, so now we're going into Silphco. Silphco is like the only story-based thing left. And one of the things that you might notice if you're paying attention to like the enemy teams is we have a level 46 Pokemon. Our main Pokemon, it's in player 2, just because it's a bit easier. Our main Pokemon right now is mid to high 40s in level. And the Pokemon that we're facing, I mean, we just fought gyms 3 and 4, and we're about to go into this dungeon type area where everything is going to be like level 37. Like we're 10 levels higher than everything. And that's basically why we delayed stuff. It's a big level jump going through Rock Tunnel and going through Pokemon Hideout, or the Rocket Hideout. But after that, the game really opens up, allows you to catch high level Pokemon, and you can kind of backtrack and do these things we were meant to do earlier. but now we're just way over level. So doing Silph-Co early is not a pleasant experience. There were some early routes of the game that wanted to do Silph-Co early to get a Master Ball to go catch the Zapdos. Forgot the name of the Pokemon. Catch Zapdos. And that was just a very unpleasant experience. So you're gonna X attack me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And even though Starmie is really great, Executor specifically is like the only Pokemon in the game that gets walled by, or that walls the Starmie's moveset.
It just has the perfect typing to
go
be
back, go
the
back.
worst.
Exact, yeah. What you just saw there is a very nice feature of 2-player, which is if one of you messes up, you can sometimes go back and fix it.
Sometimes you can't.
Yeah. If I mess up, I can tell her to go back to,
Yeah.
so it's my turn. But if she messes up, it's
Not
kind
so
of
much. Yeah.
too late. All right, so this is a fight that again I have to do by myself. Actually, the next 2 fights are. This is a double battle, but is in a little bit of a different way. This is what we call in Pokemon a true double battle. And what this means is I don't control both Pokemon on my side of the field. I have an actual in-game partner. And so there are 4 Pokemon out. I control one of them. You can imagine what kind of chaos can happen because of that. And this fight is absolutely no exception to that. There are worse true doubles in Pokemon speedrunning. Gen 3 has one that's really bad.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I have the wrong Pokemon out front. This is a thing that we will work through
Okay.
together.
Okay.
Protect Self-Destruct would be perfect. Protect Self-Destruct. Yes!
Got lucky.
Alright, there's the Omanite leveled up. Yeah, this fight can go a number of ways on that first turn. Normally you have the Starmie out, so it's less scary than that, but... and this is the lag from double battles I was talking about.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's just like, I'm gonna sit here and look at the walls for a little bit while I process, sorry.
We don't know exactly what's happening. We think it's something along the lines of like the game is waiting for animations to finish playing. Like every Pokemon has its own animation cycle it's going through. So it like waits for those to finish. There are like micro sounds that are happening. There's something that we commonly refer to as status lag, which is when a Pokemon is statused. Sometimes the game takes a bit before the turn actually goes off. And that's actually the game is waiting for the sound of the status animation to finish. So it's probably just because there are 4 Pokemon on the field, there's just so much it has to wait for to finish. Alright, so ideally here, Cubone goes for Bone Meringue? Or Bone... What is it, Bone Meringue?
I think you're right, it's Bone Meringue. Yeah.
And it went for Focus Energy. Cool, that's exactly what I wanted. So we'll heal here. So those are last 2 evolutions, at least via level up. We will have to evolve the Vulpix still. But... so this is next, which you don't get to do anything. And then
Goodbye, cute Omanite. I miss you.
Oh.
Omastar, it could be worse. You know, it's okay.
It definitely could be worse. That is a good way to put it. All right. So a couple more fights here in Silphco. That fight that we just did there is actually added in these games. There is kind of a mandatory fight in the originals, but it's not really like it's not a named person, it's just a grunt with an Arbok actually, that you just fight because he's in the way. But in this game, they add a bit more story to it. Like, this is how you get the card key, it's not just sitting on the ground. So, now that we have the card key, we can get through the various doors. Here in Silphco.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Looks mildly
I
ridiculous.
kind of take back. I mean, the Omastar is great.
It's kind of funny how it wiggles its many
animation.
arms. I kind of like it.
So good.
It's like trying to catch up, like, wait for me, and waving all of its little arms.
Yeah, one of the most annoying things is there are some Pokemon that like to run ahead of you, and I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but when I try to run with something running ahead of me that is kind of in my control, but not really, it completely throws me off.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
Bellsprout runs in front of you, and it's so bizarre. Alright. Yeah, so this is the fight. Not you yet. Again, now we had a true double fight, now we have a normal double fight, which again, second player can't play. Sorry. You'll get to play soon. And then, yeah, after we have to beat Silphco here in order to get into the next gym. Sabrina's gym has a rocket member standing in front of it that doesn't disappear until you do Silphco. We have a visitor. Hello. I don't know. I think my chair is going to be in the way.
No.
And if you move the chair, you know what happens.
If I move the chair, she'll run away.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. We'll see if she
Potential cat sighting.
comes lay down. Exactly.
Possible.
All right. That's this one.
What? Yep. Oh, I've been ready for quite a while.
Yeah. Alright, so this fight is very similar to the one that we did against the Kangaskhan in Rock Tunnel. Typically, we normally just set up an X special on the Starmie and then sweep. And the X special doesn't really waste any time because the Persian likes to go for Fake Out, which would make us flinch. Now that Persian has 2 targets, he could Fake Out the Dodrio, and because he did, we were able to get rid of him turn 1. So it was a 50-50 chance. Could have Fake Outed the Starmie, but did not. And then, yeah, so that is it for that fight, basically. There's one more Scald.
I was gonna say,
Not too bad, though.
then we're...
Not too tricky.
Yeah.
Really helps being almost 10 levels over. It's just fantastic.
Exactly. And unfortunately, this is the last time that we are going to be 10 levels over.
Yeah.
So Sabrina's gym, the requirement for Sabrina's gym is to have a level 45 Pokemon, which is funny because no one, including Sabrina, has a 45 Pokemon in Sabrina's gym. But you'll notice that we are level 47 right now, almost 48. And that's not really that high, all things considered. If the game is expecting us to be 45. So, the fights from now on are going to get a little bit more complicated. Not terribly so. Like, a lot of the times it's still just sort of use an X attack or an X special attack and call it a day. But there are going to be some fights where we're going to be using X items. There may be a fight of 4 Pokemon, and we're going to use X items on the first 3. So it's really cool. But we're going to take a couple of detours here before we leave.
It's very funny.
Here.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we're going to go here and get Lapras. Lapras is going to be Pokemon number 48 for us.
I love Lapras. What a good Pokemon.
I like Lapras a lot. Yeah.
And it's really amusing. I now realize the 2 Pokemon runs I've done Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Manipulus, and I've done this. I just go get an absurdly high-leveled Pokemon and destroy everything. That's why they were both so great.
Yeah, it's the way this route works out is really nice. The fact that you do 2 gyms and then don't touch another gym for half of the run is just really cool.
I liked it a lot. I like that openness. Hoping to see that openness in the new Pokemon too.
Yes. Oh my god. Can't wait.
I know. I can't wait to see runs of that.
Alright, so we're going to grab Porygon. Just go back to the right.
Okay.
That's the direction I'm heading. So Porygon's going to be Pokemon number 49 for us. Again, another free Pokemon we can get just by doing Silph-Co, which is required anyways. And now we're going to do our last shop of the run. This one, we have way too much money. So we're going to buy way more stuff than we actually need.
We have not enough yesterday.
Yeah, it's just at this point in the game, there's just not a lot for us to spend our money on. So. In fact, 108 X specials. We're going to use about 20 of them.
Why not? You know?
It's faster to buy the maximum of something than actually counting up to 20.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Alright, I need to do some stuff here. This is a fight you need to pay attention to because you have to X attack and then, sorry.
And then anything?
Whoop. Me not being used to having Starmie not in slot 1.
Oh. Mark.
He asked me for a level 45 Pokemon, and I showed him a 41 Pokemon.
Oh, it doesn't work.
Alright, let's just do this now. Alright, so we're going to withdraw the Vulpix. Firestone. So assuming we didn't mess anything up, this will be Pokemon number 50.
Ding, ding, ding. Exciting.
Which is 1 fight before we actually need it. And then I'm gonna swap X items around. Actually, that's fine. Put this in slot 1 and then get rid of these. Alright. So head through Sabrina's gym. Sabrina's lead Pokemon is the bulkiest thing that she has. Which is unfortunate because, if, let's say, the 3rd Pokemon that comes out is the bulky thing, you can set up multiple X specials. And boost your special attack more and more as the fight progresses. But we need the big damage output immediately. And so we're actually going to use Aerodactyl to deal damage to the Mr. Mime instead of the Starmie. The Mr. Mime is more specially bulky, so using physical moves is a little bit better. The one downside is we did set our nature to be Modest. Modest is plus special minus attack. And that means our Aerodactyl has a hindered attack stat. So we may not KO the Mime in 1 hit. We might. Rock Slide can also miss. So there's plenty of things that can happen. We'll just play it by ear.
It's a Pokemon battle. You know, stuff will occur.
Yes.
I love Sabrina's gym redesign in this. It is so cool.
It really is. The gyms in general are super cool, and this is the one I always notice it on.
Yeah.
There's like bleachers on the
Yeah,
side.
they have the spectators, which I think is like so accurate. Like,
Yeah.
everyone would be there watching the fights. I love it.
All right, you ready? Where's Rock Slide? Wow. Should be over 3, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yep.
Oh no.
We missed. All right. New plan. We're gonna go for Scald here.
Okay.
There's the light screen. All right, cool. Everything has gone wrong. It's fine.
Now what?
Scald again.
Okay. He scared me.
Just thinking here. Yeah, follow this now as it is.
Anything?
Yeah, just Scald again. Actually, Thunderbolt.
Okay.
Sorry.
You know, we got this on the fly routing. It's
Yeah.
scary, but it's going.
Yeah.
It's going. Also, Sabrina's hair is amazing. Gotta say, just floating.
I know. Oops.
Good. That's what I was slightly worried about. And then you should Scald here. Don't recover. Actually, you should Thunderbolt. That's fine.
All sorts of
Sorry.
options here.
The point was use a damaging move, but
See, but I wouldn't know what that means.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I was.
So it's just stick with Thunderbolt. We're keeping it cool.
To me, it's a fight. They're all damaging, so it's like,
We get to do the fun thing in this gym. The thing from 2 hours ago.
Yes,
where
we
caught a
we
Meowth.
talked about it.
Oh.
You want to
Remember that?
summarize what we talked about
Do I
2
remember
hours ago for the fans?
Yes. Oh my god, I just remembered. Okay, so Meowth is a Pokemon that spawns north of Cerulean City and doesn't always appear in a run. There's like one spot of grass. It's rare to get anything to spawn, let alone the thing that you actually want. But Meowth is really useful because it has the move Feint. Feint is a move that breaks Protect. So if the opponent protects, then it doesn't actually get to use, or it doesn't actually get protected. And so this is really important for this particular gym because every Pokemon in this gym has Toxic and Protect. You can kind of tell what they're trying to do there. And for the most part, the way these fights work is we just use an X special and then just spam the moves that are going to KO the opponent. And if they protect, oh no, we lost a turn, but it's not the end of the world. Problem is, in true co-op, we both have to be here. And so every turn takes twice as long. So every time we get protected, it's like doubly painful. And so having Feint, even though this Meowth is super low level and is going to end up getting, you know, a bunch of extra levels unnecessarily, it's still better than dealing with getting protected.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the strategy come into play. It's happening.
Yeah. The one thing is we still do have to use the X special, so we could get protected on turn 1 of each battle, but that is it. In theory, though, they should see a kill on the Meowth and go for it instead of protecting. Like, this is going to take a while. Not a ton, but...
Level up time.
So here I can use Feint. And if the Beedrill does protect...
Saves us a turn.
it would save us a turn. Again, it may not actually be useful because they may just see a kill on the Meowth and never go for Protect.
Which would be very
Which would
funny.
it be?
I mean,
Because I was so excited about it, and then it's not actually going to come into play, but you know what?
I mean, I wonder if you don't even necessarily need a Meowth, you just need a low-level bait Pokemon, and then it would trick them into not protecting.
Yeah. Why were you not moving? There are invisible walls in the gym. Yeah, that's
Well.
the puzzle.
Well.
This one. The little Meowth.
Meowth, you're doing so good.
Psychic. They're coming out of order.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
like, "Ah."
This is the order they're supposed to come out in, but
Yeah.
So I guess we didn't really explain that. It's going to come into play on the next rival fight, actually. The game, the AI decides what Pokemon to send out next based on which Pokemon has the strongest effective move against you. So if somebody has like a 80 base power move, you're supposed to Psychic.
Whoops. Oh, you know what?
Goodbye forever, Meow. No.
That's alright.
Oh, was that my fault?
Now it won't level up on us, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so it decides which Pokemon to send out next based on the best effective move power. So just Thunderbolt again, that's fine. And it knows which move is the strongest by taking the actual base power of the move. Keep using Thunderbolt. The base power of the move and multiplying it by the effectiveness against you. So, for example, Venomoth has Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz is 90 base power, which against Starmie is 180 because Bug is super effective against Psychic. And so, keep going. And then again. And so normally Venomoth would come out next instead of the Muck. But Muck instead came out because the AI used the partner to determine which Pokemon to send out next. And so sometimes that order can be really bad for us. And specifically on the rival fight, we're going to make sure we don't have Aerodactyl as our partner, because Aerodactyl would bait out a Pokemon early that we just don't want to see.
Nice. That makes sense.
Alright, go ahead and get the gold teeth here. It does not take stab into account, no. And for any move that is a variable base power, so a move like Grass Knot depends on the weight of the opponent, it uses 60 as like the default base power. For the longest time, we knew that the order was consistent based on which Pokemon you had out, but we didn't know the exact like reasoning behind it. But that is the reason. And yeah, so double battles can just mess it up if you're not careful.
Strong push.
Yeah, so this is the last HM secret technique in this game that we're going to be getting. Equivalent of strength from the originals. Goodbye, Meowth. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and use our Max Repel. Yeah, so this is the only section of the game where we're actually going to rappel through to avoid encounters. Up until now, every area has had like 1 or 2 Pokemon, at least, that we could catch, depending on what shows up. But now that we're done with Koga's gym, it doesn't matter what we're catching. And now that we have 7 gym badges, we can unlock the 8th gym. That is kind of not a letdown, but one thing I was a little bit disappointed about with the game is there are the gym requirements, and some of them are really interesting, like in order to get into Brock's gym, you need a grass or water type. In order to get into Koga's gym, you have to catch 50 Pokemon. Blaine's gym is like get the secret key, which was just the requirement in the originals. Surge's gym is cut the bush outside, which you have to do to get to the door. And like Giovanni's gym, the requirement is to have the other 7 badges, which again was the requirement for the originals.
Like half of them were new and interesting, and half of them were just do the story. It's like, okay.
Yeah. So, no, it's a cutscene. You actually might be despawned when we come back.
I think I am.
I think something that could have been cool is like evolve 5 Pokemon, or like, you know, there could have been some really cool different requirements.
I hope it's something they bring back at some point.
Me too, I like it.
Even if it's not like Koga's gym requirement is very aggressive, but yeah, I think a lot of the other ones are really cool.
There's no way I'm keeping up now.
Just try to get through this little path, and then you should be fine.
No one knows.
All right. Oh, I can't show it off without trapping myself. So I'll take a second to explain this. So this guy here is required because you have to see like the blue spinner pads. So that's the path you have to take. And what you're supposed to do is take the green spinner pad and have him walk up to you.
Okay.
And then go all the way around the gym, fighting 2 extra trainers, and then come around behind him and take the blue pad.
Wow.
With the second player, you can prevent him from walking forward, which would be faster, except the game actually, like in that particular instance, detects that you're there and despawns you.
Oh,
so
that's
you can't
so
do that trainer
rude.
skill.
That's sneaky.
Yeah. So it would be faster because like you'd be able to skip a bunch of like extra movement and stuff, but it ends up not working out.
That is very sneaky.
Sorry, you are Psychic.
Okay, I had a feeling it was
Psychic and then Scald. Oh, my Aerodactyl's faster than you, so I should avoid attacking. In general, like, so in that case, the Psychic was enough damage to KO the opponent. Me dealing damage actually lost us a little time, because a damaging move is just more time than a non-damaging move. Alright. I hate that you can just run around. So we're gonna fight this guy. This is Ace Trainer Samuel. Samuel is... So, I didn't even teach Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump is normally a move that Starmie has. Problem with Hydro Pump is it's 80% accurate. It's a more powerful version of Scald, basically, but it's only 80% accurate. This is typically the first Hydro Pump you use in the run, and I have lost many a run to missing a Hydro Pump here.
Being able to lose a run like 3 hours in, oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yep.
Pokemon speedrunning, baby.
Yeah, that is the first Hydro Pump you use of like 4. So it can be rough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever. You Scald. And this. All right, so here on Giovanni, one of the reasons I have Aerodactyl in my party still is Aerodactyl is a flying type. Flying types are unaffected by ground. Typically, the way that this fight goes is you X special attack the Starmie, and Starmie uses Scald. But Starmie is slower than Dugtrio, which is the lead Pokemon, and the Dugtrio likes to go for Earthquake. Rapidash is our ride Pokemon, who has to be in our party because of that. And Rapidash is weak to Earthquake, so we would end up dying, and it would be sad. So we just do it this way. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and not heal you. I shouldn't have to. You're scalding the rest of the fight. Alright, I actually want to catch a glimpse of your speed here on level up. Because you might be able to skip, or we might be able to skip an X speed. Not super important that we do, it's just good to know. I don't think we can. No, not even close. Needed 140, and you have 133.
Yeah, nope.
Oh, man.
One more. All right. So this is the fight I was talking about, the one that's coming up here, where we actually want Aerodactyl not to be our partner. If Aerodactyl is our partner, then it will bait out, potentially, the Raichu second. And we need 3 turns before the Raichu, so Raichu coming out second would just not be ideal, because the Raichu outspeeds us. And every X item, I guess I didn't really explain this. So all of the X items, like X specials and X attacks, and even X defends when we use those apply immediately. X speeds apply next turn.
That's so strange that it works that way. Huh.
Yeah, it actually, that is something that changed in Generation 8. So in Gen 8, X speeds apply immediately. It has to do with the fact that like the turn order is decided before anything gets processed.
I see.
Yeah, so, but in Generation 8, they made the speed update dynamically, so you can use next speed and have it actually apply. But because of that, if Raichu comes out second, we can't X speed that turn and be faster than it. And the Raichu can absolutely kill us, so. Okay. This is one of the fights that probably benefits the most from 2-controller, just because we can actually set up as we go. Every Pokemon requires like 1 more X item than the previous one to defeat. So we X special here, and then Thunderbolt. And then I'll X speed and use Scald. So this is another one where they came out of order.
Oh boy.
So just Scald here. and then Psychic the next 2. And I am actually going to heal you, even though it's not really needed, just in case something goes wrong. Whoops.
You know, if you heal, you won't need it, so it's good to heal. It's when you don't that it gets you.
That you need it.
Exactly.
Just like an umbrella when it's raining. This is how it goes.
Exactly.
All right. So coming up here is Victory Road. In Victory Road, is probably the biggest development in Let's Go speedrunning since like 4 months after the game came out. So it was discovered about a year and a half ago by another Pokemon runner named Cruel, that you can actually skip trainers if you're on a ride Pokemon. We didn't really understand it. We thought it had to do with the geometry around the area, because like the Pokemon was like spawning and despawning, and we thought it might be pushing you forward, all that kind of stuff. We didn't really understand it. And then maybe like 6 months later, another runner who I forget the name, I apologize, came in and was like, hey, did people know about this? And showed a video of them skipping a different trainer. Same exact way, but just skipping a different one. And we were like, that's weird. And then a ton of work was done by Sandy Beach, Etchy, and Anubis recently to come up with consistent skips for these trainers here in Victory Road. They require Aerodactyl or Rapidash, which is why we haven't been able to do them yet. If you've been paying attention, we haven't actually encountered a trainer while on Rapidash or Aerodactyl yet. Every trainer since we got them have been indoors. And so I'm going to attempt to do them. I was practicing a little bit before we started it, and I kept messing up the second one, which is why I healed. If I mess up one, then we have to do the fight. But if not, can show off these really cool skips.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I've definitely been like seeing some videos about the developments that have been happening really recently. It's super cool.
Yeah, so if you want to just sort of stand still so you don't get in my way. Well, it's less about getting in my way. These are very precise setups.
Sure.
In fact, I think I'm actually a little too high. Basically, the way that these work is Aerodactyl and Rapidash move at like 26 pixels per frame. And the trainers have 25 pixels of vision. And so you literally just get through them in one frame. Like that.
Nice.
That was a very sloppy setup, but
Hey,
it's been
it
a bit
works.
since I was doing these. So,
Very cool.
so this guy's gonna be the next one. He is the one I keep messing up. Hopefully we get past it. If not, this fight's not too bad. That's why these fights are in yellow, by the way. It's because we may not have to do them. I think it's like there. I don't feel confident about this one. 1 second, we're gonna do this again. No, all right, that's fine.
These look really tricky to set up.
Yeah, this one in particular is tricky because depending on where you are horizontally on that wall, your pixel alignment might be a little bit off compared to other spots, and so I just kind of messed that up. So you're gonna Thunderbolt here. And then you're gonna Thunderbolt again, and then Thunderbolt the third time too. Yeah, so the trainer skips are allowed on the leaderboards. There are 2 separate categories if you go to the main leaderboards. There is any percent and there is any percent NMS. NMS stands for no mount skips. And so the standard any % run does allow for them. NMS does not. This is a category extension, so it's kind of like in a weird limbo state where nobody's really done runs of it since, but I figured it'd be cool to show off, and honestly, it makes the route a little bit nicer to do them, so. So yeah, there's 2 more of those skips, and I'm a little bit better at them than that last one is easily the worst one for me, so I'm not too upset about missing it.
I love these little boulders that somehow have a Pokeball etched into them. Like, who did this?
I know. If there's one complaint I have about this game, it's the fact that you have to hit A every time you want to move the strength boulder. Which makes sense if you don't know the puzzle, because you don't want to accidentally bump into it, but I've done the puzzle so many times that I just know it, and I don't want to have to press A every single time. Alright, so this is not considered a mount skip. That is the worst spot for that to have happened. Alright. That is a standard skip that has been known for quite a while. You basically avoid her vision instead of go through it. That one you just go through. And now I can officially say it without jinxing myself. That skip I've actually never messed up. That particular one. I watched a video of it. I tried it once. It worked. And then every time I've tried it since, it's worked.
Hold off.
This one is not as bad as the second one, but the setup for it is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, and the other thing, I guess, I kind of hinted at it, but I don't think I explicitly said it. This is only possible with Aerodactyl and Rapidash. There are other Pokemon that move at almost the same speed as Aerodactyl Rapidash. Like Arcanine is a good example, but Arcanine is technically like a pixel slower, and so it can't actually get through. So. Go down. Back up. I'm gonna redo all this because I don't feel right. Alright, so here. I feel like I didn't go down far enough. Like that. Like that.
Nice.
So those are the 4 required trainers in Victory Road, and we skipped 3 of them.
That's pretty awesome. Do you find that you said you can do it with Aerodactyl or Rapidash? Is one or the other easier, or is just what you're kind of comfy with?
So the current setups only work with Aerodactyl.
Okay.
The 2 Aerodactyl and Rapidash move at like the same speed, but my understanding, I'm not one that did a lot of this research. That was mostly like I said, Etchy and Sandy Beach and Anubis. My understanding is that they move at the same speed, but they have different like startup acceleration almost. So if you happen to be lined up, they would work exactly the same. It's just the lineups that we know work specifically with Aerodactyl.
Cool. That makes sense.
Yeah. The other thing worth mentioning is the current setups do require perfect directional movement. So you have to be moving like exactly up, exactly left, which with a normal Joy-Con, you'll notice you can kind of slightly go off.
Yeah.
I switched over to a third-party Joy-Con for that section. It's just a little bit of a gate for people trying to learn it. At least the current setups. Hopefully one day we'll have different setups that might work on, the more standard controllers, but for now, not so much.
Right. And you said earlier they split the categories, right? Is that what? Or
Yes,
yeah,
the categories are split. So if you don't want to do that, then you don't have to.
That's great. I think that's always going to be the best way to go about something radically different like that coming along.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, what happened, or part of the reason it happened the way it did, was when we did the original vote, we had no idea why you could skip the trainers. It just was something people would go for in a run, and if they got it, cool. If not, that was it. So it was very much like, do I really want to play for 3 hours and then not hit the skip?
I would not want to do that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Jinx should come out next. Yeah, alright. So you Scald this and Thunderbolt everything else. Fortunately, the next fight is a little bit simpler for you.
What?
Scald.
Scald, right. I'm just
Lots of level ups. The one downside to skipping those 4 trainers, or 3, I guess, in our case, is we don't get the experience from those trainers. Thunderbolt twice. But I picked up basically an extra rare candy to make up that loss of experience. It shouldn't be too big of a deal, but yeah, it matters mostly for like one fight, which is Lance.
And that's kind of interesting where you fall in the middle of, you didn't skip all of them, but you got some of them, so you got some experience and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. All right. Bruno's the most straightforward Elite Four member. That last one, the Rapidash wasn't supposed to die. But it was fine because I had the Aerodactyl. If we didn't have the Aerodactyl, I don't know what we would have done.
That would have, yeah.
I forget exactly the ruling on like a Pokemon dying mid-battle. Oh my god. I am controlling Starmie, you are not.
What?
Yeah, because of the thing. Can you use an X special on me?
For the love of God.
Sorry, I'll switch it for next.
Where?
X special attack.
Oh, boy.
On Starmie.
Okay. Oh, I was so excited to just do the same move.
I know. Hey, look at next fight. Look at the next fight.
Yeah.
Psychics.
I was so excited. Anything.
Use agility. It's in slot 2.
Yeah.
And then just spam this for the rest of the fight.
Okay.
Sorry.
Unplanned.
Again, this is the joy of co-op speedruns, you know? You make it work.
Everything went wrong.
Oh boy.
I might revive the Rapidash. I was just gonna leave the Rapidash fainted, but it might be better to have it for Lance.
I feel like Lance is always a problem.
It's a problem in every game.
Yeah, every single time.
It really is. Alright. So I'll do the party swap, so that way it's... I saw the Starmie out in slot 1, I'm like, wait, what is happening?
Menuing is the hardest part of speedrunning. It just is.
Agree.
Oh, I didn't have to grab the full restore. The traditional way that this fight goes in single player is you X special the you X special and X speed on the Arbok here. The Arbok can usually 2-hit KO you, meaning you wouldn't actually have a chance to get both moves off or both items out. But she really likes to go for Glare turn 1. But we can skip all that just by KOing her on turn 1. You have 5 psychics left? Did you
Didn't even see.
Alright, see if you have 4. If you don't have 4, we have to adjust slightly. No.
Okay, I thought you meant later.
No, you were fine. I was meant to use an X speed. What is the plan? Alright.
Couldn't tell you.
Hear me out. You're just not gonna die?
Okay.
Sounds optimal to me. It does sound
Yeah, we'll
optimal.
see how that goes. Yeah. What do you want me to do?
Psychic.
Okay.
Alright. So you did not do your job
What?
of not dying.
Oh, well, that's your fault.
It is.
I said. Mark.
Thinking. Use an X attack on me. Please. We don't have any X attacks.
Okay, so it won't be using
Alright.
that on you.
Go back. Go back.
Bag? Or back?
Back.
Okay. Back.
Use a burn heal on me. I don't think this will kill, but if it does, it's really nice.
On you, are you?
Yeah. Does she have Hex? She's gonna heal. Or not.
Oh,
Alright.
no? Okay. I love when they don't heal. It's like, thank God.
Yeah. Alright. I have to be careful because I'm gonna use a revive here. Alright. I want to revive, but the problem with reviving is then we have no more revives. And you need to be alive for the next fight. So even if I make it through this fight,
Yeah.
flinch. Darn. That crit is super bad. So even if I make it through this fight, if we have no more revives, then we're kind of in bad shape.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Okay.
Exactly. That did over half. I think I'm just dead. Yep. Alright, that's fine. Redo the first fights in the Elite Four. It's not a big deal. We have enough X items for it.
Yikes.
But what we will do is we'll buy more revives.
Yes. More revives will help.
Yeah, that was just my bad. I didn't think about using the X speed. Oh well.
It's always good to come in with like 13 million revives as well. It's just like, okay.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Alright, back up here.
Got this. We just get to see Lorelai's amazing Lapras again. That's never a bad thing.
Exactly.
I love her design. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
This wasn't one where it was backwards, right? I'm still starting.
No, you're starting out. Yeah. Oh, you're not out. Shape.
Oh.
Oh yeah. That's one of the funny things about this game. It just idles like that. It's very fun. We have some questions in chat about like, is this game just Gen 1 Pokemon? How does that all work for people who haven't played this game specifically before?
Yeah, so this is just Gen 1 Pokemon. The only exceptions are what is the word I'm looking for? They introduced 2 mythical Pokemon, Meltan and Melmetal. They're really like Pokemon Go Pokemon. They're kind of like between generations. Skull here. And that is it. Other than that, it's the pure Gen 1 Pokedex. So yeah, you can't get a Magnezone, you can't get Crobat, you can't get the other evolutions, for example. Which is, for some people, a little bit of a bummer. I kind of like it because this really feels like a Gen 1 game. But I do get why it's a little upsetting. Actually, I'm going to heal myself again. You can just Thunderbolt the rest of the fight. I feel like we've seen these fights before.
I mean, it's pretty recent.
Again, this is where I love the battle arenas. They're so beautiful in this game. Really shows off in the Elite Four too. Just the Ice Palace.
Yeah, each room, I really like how each room like has its own feel to it. Like, they kind of do that in the originals, where like each room does feel different, but like you can only do so much with the sort of 16-bit art style. So that's this one, and you are actually Starmie, so you can just psychic everything. You don't have to worry. See, now my 100x specials doesn't look too stupid, now does it?
It's not.
Definitely not. We just need a bit more balanced shopping distribution, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had, yeah, that's the big thing. And that's a 2-player, like this true co-op issue. If I did the shopping for the single player run, we actually would have been able to get out of that. Mm-hmm. So the final 2 fights in the game, in the single player run, we do it with 1 controller. Mm-hmm. And to prevent ourselves from taking too much damage, we use an X special defense. So special moves used against us do less damage. Because we're doing 2-player, like, we can set up as we're attacking, so we don't have to take less damage, basically. And so I didn't buy any X special defense. Mm-hmm. If I had X special defense, we could have gotten out of it. Yeah. We still could have not, and it could have taken us longer to find out that we're dead, but
we'd still be dead.
Yeah. Not the end of the world. We were actually on like pretty good pace.
Very nice pace.
Estimate, so.
Yeah, I thought so. We have a comfy estimate, so.
We tried.
Yeah. All right. Back to Agatha.
Here we go.
We also haven't done this in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So it's a little rusty.
I mean, the Elite Four is going to be the place where things just happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of the run, very, very solid.
I'm gonna do something.
Okay. Smart.
Just a small little thing. The good thing is I didn't do this. If I had done that and we died, it would have been pretty bad. I'm going to use an elixir during this fight. We only have one left, so if I had used it, could have been pretty bad.
You still star me?
You're still star me, yeah. You will be star me for the rest of the game.
Okay.
Unless I mess up.
Don't be afraid. You got Starmie. You got to unlock.
So that rare candy I said that we might need.
Yeah, we needed it.
No, because we got to do the Elite Four twice.
Okay.
We are the right level after this fight.
Perfect.
All right, important. X speed. All right,
Good.
psychic everything.
Yeah.
Might still use the rare candy even if we don't need it.
We don't need it later.
Depends on what our speed is on this level up. I think we want to have 142 to outspeed the Dragonite. Or Charizard, not Dragonite. 143, look at that.
Perfect.
So I'll hold off on the king.
All right, Agatha, come
Elixir.
on. We got this.
Ah.
All right. So now that we're done with Agatha round 2, go on to Lance. I mentioned earlier when we were talking about how beginner friendly this run is. Lance is typically the first run or first fight that I would save for when doing like a marathon run or something, and it's literally the second to last fight in the run. We are gonna save for it. Just to play it safe. We'll save for the next fight as well. This fight has a ton of setup that has to be done. And the good thing is the Dragonite always comes out last, and the Dragonite is the thing that we need to like set up everything for. The problem is Aerodactyl likes to come out second, and Aerodactyl is the one Pokemon that we want to outspeed. That we don't normally outspeed. So we're gonna end up taking damage from it. The one bad thing that can happen from it, so Psychic. The one bad thing that can happen from it is we can get hit by Rock Slide and flinch. If that happens, we'll sort of deal with it as we get there. Gyarados coming out second is perfect. Use Thunderbolt, because that means I can X-speed you. Gyarados had a chance of coming out second because the Aerodactyl was out in slot 2. So Waterfall is better than Rock Slide against it. That's big. Alright, T-Bolt here, Thunderbolt. And then you're gonna Psychic.
All right.
That went well.
Yeah.
It's not over, but
Can't speak until Lance is gone. Bad luck.
Be no jinxing.
Exactly.
yeah.
There we go.
That went really well, yeah. Basically, if Aerodactyl did come out second, I would actually X-defend my Aerodactyl to try and prevent me from taking too much damage, because it would use a super effective Rock Slide against us, and that could really hurt.
Yeah, that was great.
There's the dragon.
Very smooth.
All right, one fight left.
Sweet. I wonder who it could be. It's Professor Oak. Plot twist.
I know. I wish.
That would be hilarious, honestly.
Alright, we will save again.
Sweet.
Alright. So this is a fight a lot like the last one. It requires a bunch of setup. The problem is we can't really take care of the Pidgeot on turn 1. So we'll do a bit of setup on the actual Pidgeot, and then we just kind of have to stall as the second player because the rest of the fight is free after that. So would you prefer to X speed or X special?
What is better to use?
You have to use one of them. So. Use the X speed.
Okay.
Let's do it as it's written in the
I feel like
notes.
the X special is easier to get to, isn't it?
It is. That's why I was offering it to you, but you didn't want it.
I didn't say I didn't want it.
Go left twice. On Starmie.
So basically, yeah, just bulk the heck up Starmie and then tear through everything.
Exactly.
Yep. Oh, I forgot. We got the Mega Pidgeot.
That's really funny that it just missed. Yeah, so the one-player way to do this fight is to set up an X Special Defend, and while you're taking damage from the Pidgeot, you're setting up. And so you actually end up usually having to heal once, sometimes twice if things go really bad. You're going to Psychic everything for the most part. Slowbro is the only thing you don't. So you're getting hit as you're doing your setup, and Air Slash is not a high crit rate move, but this game could convince you otherwise. There are so many runs that have died because you get crit on literally the final fight. Again, it's like Lance, it's one of the only 2 fights I really would consider to be like truly dangerous. Everything else you can kind of get out of when things go wrong. But the thing that goes wrong is just dead in this. You want to Thunderbolt this? Psychic everything else.
All right. Awesome. Well, I mean, this is probably a good time if y'all have any like shout outs or anything you want to say about what you're doing on your stream etiquette, any of that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, so I guess this was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Hope you had fun. Hope you had fun. Your first time on GDQ.
Yeah, crazy.
Great job!
You did great. You did great. No, but I stream 3 or 4 times a week over on twitch.tv/etiquette. And I do you want to
What happened? Sorry.
Yeah. I do mostly late gen Pokemon speedruns. Things like Let's Go, Sword and Shield, BDSP. I did BDSP at SGDQ this past summer. And yeah, it'd be cool to see anybody over there who wants to come by. And then in general, if you enjoyed what you saw here, and think that it's something that you could do, either the 2-player version or just like, you know, the single-player speedrun, definitely go over to the Switch speedrunning Discord for Pokemon. You can find a link to it on any of the Switch games on speedrun.com. Other Pokemon games, you know, you can, you know, if you maybe don't like Let's Go but want to run a different Pokemon game, the Discords are broken up by console, so you just go to the appropriate game on speedrun.com. You can find the link. And yeah, there's a ton of people there willing to help you learn, and we're very welcoming to new runners, so definitely stop by if you're curious. And time will be on the fade out here.
Fantastic. I agree that like I'm not a super Pokemon speedrunner, but everyone has been so kind and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, GG's.
Yeah, the Pokemon community is great. I've been speedrunning Pokemon since 2013, so it's
yeah.
it's a good group of people.
Absolutely. Thank you both so much for being here. This was so fun.
Thank you.
You both did
thank
great.
you for having us. Thank you very much.
Please.
I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah, please give Etiquette a follow. I'll put the link in the Twitch chat. Of course, if you came in partway through the run, you want to see all of it, it'll be up on YouTube in the next couple of days. I really, really love co-op speedruns. I love Pokemon. It's just the best of both worlds, and had a great time hanging out with y'all. But yeah, that does it for today's show of It's Dangerous to Go Alone. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have Awfully Silly, followed by That's Never Happened Before. So every day here on Hotfix, we have new shows. You can go to gamestoneclick.com/hotfix and see the full schedule. But I absolutely had a blast, and I'm glad you two did too. So see you all next time. Stick around for the raid.